The moment you heard the name Liu, your interest sharpened. If Duan Qian was tangled up in anything, there was a good chance Liu was somewhere in the shadows too. So you pressed Hu Zhangxuan for details, step by step, refusing to let him wave it away. Hu Zhangxuan explained what he knew. During his flight, Li Jiang had been forced into Liu's territory. He thought he could slip through unnoticed, but fate didn't cooperate. He was exposed, seized, and taken alive. Only one day after capturing him, Liu submitted a memorial to Li Anlong explaining everything, then immediately dispatched escorts to send Li Jiang back to the capital. And Liu himself? He stayed put in Yangling Prefecture, obediently sitting in his fief as if nothing important had happened. You turned that over in your mind and couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Capturing a deposed crown prince was a heaven-sent merit. The kind that could change a man's fate in one stroke. Most people would rush to the capital personally, kneel before the throne, and squeeze every drop of reward out of it. But Liu treated it like passing along a package. Almost too clean. Too calm. You sighed inwardly. Royal politics always had too many layers. Still, it wasn't all bad news for you. If Liu could be so detached from the imperial court, it suggested he and Li Anlong weren't particularly close. That meant you could dig into Liu's background without immediately stepping on the emperor's toes. The next day, inside the palace, Li Anlong leaned back on the dragon throne, eyes closed, resting as if the court itself was nothing more than a noisy dream. Footsteps approached. Chief Eunuch Wang Jin hurried in, bowed, and reported in his sharp, high voice. Your Majesty, the rebellious Crown Prince Li Jiang has been delivered to the capital by Prince Yongning's men. Li Anlong opened his eyes slowly, gaze steady and unreadable, fixed on Wang Jin. Wang Jin hesitated. A flicker of confusion crossed his face, then understanding struck. He bowed lower at once, voice trembling slightly as he corrected himself. Your Majesty, the Earth source on the rebellious Crown Prince has also been returned. And Prince Yongning submitted a secret letter. Present it. Wang Jin stepped forward, offering a palm-sized Earth source bowl and a letter. Li Anlong glanced at the Earth source, gave a faint nod, and a trace of disappointment flashed in his eyes. Liu hadn't taken the bait. Then Li Anlong lifted the letter. It was already opened. His gaze snapped up, sharp as a blade, landing on Wang Jin. Wang Jin had already retreated to his place below the throne, posture respectful and still. Under that stare, he spoke quickly. Your Majesty, Prince Yongning's men said it was opened when they received it from him. Li Anlong's expression smoothed out. He lowered his eyes and read. As he went through the contents, his face shifted again and again. A frown, a pause, a long stare into nothing, the kind of stillness that meant he was measuring something dangerous. Because the letter wasn't from Liu to the Emperor. It was from the Jinyu nation to Liu. Jinyu promised Liu an Earth source to help him, even as a peak Grandmaster, break through to Ultimate Grandmaster. They promised full backing for Liu to overthrow Li Anlong and become Emperor of Great Qian. And in exchange, Liu would hand over 5 southern prefectures beneath the Zhangwang Desert to Jinyu as territory. Li Anlong placed the letter down and began tapping the armrest of the throne, slow and rhythmic, like he was counting someone's heartbeat. He understood immediately what Liu was doing. This letter was proof. A pledge. A performance of loyalty. Silence hung. Then Li Anlong murmured, almost to himself. My grandnephew, the more you try to reassure me, the less reassured I feel. After a long moment, he looked at Wang Jin. Prince Yongning's martial talent is outstanding. A rare seed in the Li family. Assign Liu Yan how to guard him. No accidents. Wang Jin bowed deeper. Your Majesty, Minister Liu is an ultimate grandmaster, but his temperament may offend Prince Yongning. Is this truly appropriate? Send Liu Yanhao. Yes, Your Majesty. Then about rewards for Prince Yongning's merit in capturing the rebellious Crown Prince. Rewards. Li Anlong snorted, voice turning cold. Prince Yongning assaulted the Crown Prince. He should be punished. Since it's his first offense, confiscate 1,000 hectares of his estates as a warning. Wang Jin's eyes widened. Your Majesty, that may breed resentment. Li Anlong's voice softened, almost calm. That's exactly what I want. Wang Jin froze. The more he hates me, Li Anlong continued, the better. Back at Hu Zhongshuan's residence. Minister Hu, until next time. Gentlemen, take care. I won't see you out. Hu Zhongshuan had just sent off the third wave of visitors that day. You happened to step out during a break from cultivation and immediately noticed how crowded his doorstep had become. You walked over and asked, Uncle Master, your threshold is about to collapse. This many visitors. Is another storm coming? Hu Zhongshuan smiled. The storm already passed. Now it's raining and they're trying to squeeze under the right roof. You understood instantly. Li Jiang had fallen. The crown prince seat was empty. And the emperor's grandsons were going to start biting each other for it. Even if Li Anlong lived long enough that none of them would ever sit the throne, the title of crown prince still sat above every other prince. Even dying as a crown prince could mean your descendants inheriting the throne later. Temptation like that didn't require logic. It only required ambition. For court officials, this was the worst and best time. Worst, because they had to choose. Best, because choosing correctly could lift their entire faction. Remaining neutral meant two enemies. Picking a side meant only one. So everyone scrambled, lobbying, making alliances, trading promises. Right now, the favorite was Li Zhangji, eldest son of the second prince. By succession order, with Li Zhang's line wiped out after producing 3 imperial grandsons, it should be Li Zhangji's turn. And Li Zhangji had the perfect, safe temperament too. Gentle, non-confrontational, easy to control. The ideal crown prince who might never ascend. As a core figure in the Ministry of War, Hu Zhongshuan naturally became a magnet for visitors. You nodded as he explained, eyes narrowing slightly. Even as a commoner, you weren't clueless about power. You cleared your throat, ready to deliver your grand political analysis. Ahem. Uncle Master, you said in a low voice, serious, as if you were about to reveal a heavenly secret. I don't think Li Anlong will choose any of these imperial grandsons as crown prince. Hu Zhongshuan looked at you for a moment, then smiled in a way that was almost proud. You see through things, he said. Clearer than a lot of ministers who've spent their whole lives drowning in court mud. You didn't stop there. I've got a stronger guess, you said. Li Anlong might not choose from his grandsons at all. He might skip straight to a crown prince from his great-grandsons, or even great-great-grandsons. Hu Zhongshuan nodded without hesitation. Same thought. If I had to name one, it's probably Li Chengping. He's Li Zhangji's eldest grandson. You knew Li Chengping. 18 this year. Young enough that, if Li Anlong truly had decades left, Li Chengping might actually live to see the old monster's end and inherit a functioning empire. The prediction wasn't crazy. It was disturbingly reasonable. You and Hu Zhongshuan talked politics for another half hour, then split up. You returned to cultivation. He returned to cultivating the sweet and bitter torture called love. Year 37. You completed your 5th true qi condensation. On top of that, your divine microvision improved dramatically, hovering right at the edge of perfection. During the year, you comprehended another strand of Earth Source Sword Qi, bringing your total to 13 out of 24, more than halfway. These Sword Qi were your hidden blade, your true trump card. You'd already stockpiled high-grade healing pills in your storage space, enough that if you ever had to unleash those Sword Qi recklessly and shred yourself in return, you could patch the damage fast and keep fighting. In the capital, the political situation stayed tense. Li Anlong still refused to name an heir. Officials begged. They petitioned again and again. The emperor didn't even blink. Still, Li Zhangji remained the court's favorite, assumed crown prince. Even Li Zhangji understood what it meant, but with his mild temperament and his habit of avoiding sharp edges, the man only dared to chuckle about it under his blanket. Meanwhile, Liu Yanhao, the ultimate grandmaster Li Anlong had assigned to protect Prince Yongning, spent an entire year living in Li Yu's residence. He found nothing, not even a shadow of rebellion. Li Yu was so obedient it bordered on absurd. Whenever someone mentioned Li Anlong, he would immediately face the direction of the capital and stand stiff for 3 seconds in silent reverence, even in the middle of using the toilet. Following Li Anlong's instructions, Liu Yanhao tried everything to provoke him. Insults, deliberate disrespect, constant needling, small humiliations. Even petty nonsense like spinning the lazy Susan while the host was still taking food. Liu never took the bait. He stayed calm, polite, and unshakable, giving Liu Yanhao no excuse to escalate. In the end, Li Anlong had no choice but to look elsewhere for threats. Year 39, age 54. You were refining 7th grade pills as usual. You opened the furnace expecting the standard 6. Instead, there were 8. Perfect. You nearly popped your eyes out of your skull. Your 7th grade pill refining had reached mastery. That meant one thing: you had officially stepped into the same rank as Xia Hueda. A real 7th grade pill refiner, not someone almost there. Woohoo! Your roar dragged Hu Zhongshuan into the chamber. The moment he saw the 8 pills, his face lit up and he grabbed you, spinning you around like a madman. A few unpleasant memories flared, and you immediately demanded, "Put me down. Right now." But you understood why he was shaking with excitement. Only one step remained now: the 8th grade reviving young pill. That day, Hu Zhongshuan went to Deng Wanchu's chamber and promised her again and again that he would wake her. That night he came out with red eyes. You pretended not to notice. The heir announcement. This year, Li Anlong finally named a crown prince. Or rather, he didn't. Instead of choosing Li Zhangji, or even Li Chengping, he appointed Li Qingping's eldest son as crown prince. The court went silent. Because Li Chengping wasn't even married yet. The emperor had essentially named a crown prince who might not exist. It was so absurd it felt like the imperial court had slipped into some strange parallel logic. But after the shock wore off, the reasoning became obvious. Li Anlong was ancient, and if he truly had decades left, he'd likely outlive Li Chengping's prime and leave the throne to someone even younger. Skipping a generation suddenly looked less insane and more calculated. Li Zhangji, who almost never fought for anything, cried into his pillow anyway. And Li Chengping's residence instantly became a matchmaking battlefield, packed with nobles hoping their daughters could painlessly become Empress Dowager someday. 3 months later. During Cultivation, your star Riverblade art completed 8 full cycles. 7 years of accumulation finally burst. You broke through from early-stage essence refining to mid-stage essence refining. True Qi surged out in heavy waves, rattling doors and windows before slowly settling. Your 9 condensation's profound skill also advanced to the 6th condensation, pushing your combat power high enough that defeating a mid-stage grandmaster no longer felt like a big deal. But the biggest change was mental. Your divine microvision, stagnant for nearly a decade, finally reached perfection. Now you could enter the state reliably, whenever you wanted, without gambling on luck. Maintaining it still taxed the mind, but holding it for 10 to 15 days was manageable. After extended use, you needed rest, usually 2 or 3 days, depending on how hard you pushed yourself. Your Earth Source Sword Qi also advanced again, 3 new comprehensions. Total, 16. Once you reached peak essence refining, you planned to fuse them. And, honestly, you were curious whether you'd explode on the spot, or shoot straight into Ultimate Grandmaster. Satisfied with the day's gains, you stepped out of the cultivation room. Hu Zhongshuan walked over immediately and asked about your progress toward 8th grade pill refining. Uncle, you snapped. I became a 7th grade refiner 3 months ago. Let me breathe. His expectations were worse than your past life's boss. Realizing he'd pushed too hard, Hu Zhongshuan quickly softened. No rush. If talent isn't enough, diligence makes up for it. You stared at him. My talent isn't enough? I reached 7th grade younger than my master. Have some conscience. Seeing your mood starting to crack, Hu Zhongshuan immediately switched topics. Don't get angry. If you collapse, who refines my pills? Anyway, your good friend came looking for you earlier. Good friend, you frowned. I've always been alone. What friend? A bright voice answered before he could. You. You turned. Wan Qingwan stood in the courtyard, hands behind her back, dressed in white, face glowing with joy. Your expression flipped instantly. Well, hello there, you said warmly, walking toward her. My good friend.
Hey everyone, Firescale Audiobooks here. If there's a novel you'd love to hear more of, you can support us on Patreon or Ko-fi. Depending on your tier, I'll make extra parts just for the stories you're most excited about. Usually I can only upload 4 to 5 parts of each novel, but with your support, we can go beyond that. And of course, don't forget to hit subscribe. It helps more than you know.
You walk over and circle around Wan Qingwan, giving her a once-over. Good friend, that little dress of yours looks quite pretty today. Wan Qingwan is in her normal personality today, exuding a cold elegance. Oh? Haven't you seen me wear this before? You take another look, it doesn't seem capable of holding something like a sex foundational techniques, does it? Wan Qingwan's eyes curve into crescents as she smiles faintly. I didn't bring any techniques with me. Your tone suddenly becomes calm and earnest. Little Wan, as ordinary friends, I think we should maintain an appropriate distance. A misty smile appears in Wan Qingwan's eyes. We can keep distance now, but we won't in the future. What do you mean? Wan Qingwan changes the subject without answering. Do you know about the recent turmoil in the martial world? I'm a model citizen who doesn't mix with the underworld. How would I know about martial world affairs? Wan Qingwan then explains the current situation in the martial world. Recently, conflicts have inexplicably broken out frequently between various sects, with attacks happening left and right. Long-standing grudges between sects have been dug up and used as excuses for violence. Small sects are fighting fiercely, while the 4 great sects and 2 demon factions have also joined the fray. Even ultimate grandmasters have entered the conflicts, with casualties already occurring. But every sect insists the other side struck first, claiming they're just seeking revenge. By now, who started it no longer matters. Many sects have become mortal enemies who fight on sight. The martial world has descended into complete chaos. Even neutral sects like Danxia sect have had multiple groups come to pick fights. Fortunately, Danxia sect has good relations, so it's only been minor skirmishes that Wan Bai and the elders can handle. But with Danxia sect's strongest elder only at early dragon transformation stage, if a high-level dragon transformation or even a grandmaster comes, the elders won't be able to protect the sect. After hearing Wan Qingwan's account, you and Hu Zhangshuan exchange glances, concern evident in both your eyes. Hu Zhangshuan considers for a moment. I'll return to the sect. Elder uncle, can you stay at Danxia sect permanently? You ask. Hu Zhangshuan thinks it over. Impossible. Court matters require my attention. At most I can leave for 3 to 5 days. You say, then I should go back instead. Your temporary presence at Danxia sect would help, but once you leave, things would revert back. Hu Zhangshuan frowns. That won't do either. While it shocked me that you killed mid-level dragon transformation Shindingyuan, if a high-level dragon transformation or grandmaster comes, even you might get trapped there. You smile. I don't think there'll be any problems. Hu Zhangshuan's eyebrow twitches as he studies you carefully. He knows that while you usually act carefree, you're serious when it counts. Your diligent cultivation proves that. He understands your confidence means you have a plan, but he doesn't know what gives you such assurance. Somewhat stunned, he probes, not even a problem against a grandmaster. Shouldn't be a problem. We'll see, you say calmly. Hu Zhangshuan stares blankly at your composed expression, deep in thought. Finally, he says solemnly, if you encounter someone you can't beat, prioritize your safety. You shrug. I'm slippery as an eel. Who could catch me? Your current combat strength could kill a mid-level grandmaster, and with your 16 Earth Source sword chi going all out, even a peak grandmaster would have trouble. Even an ultimate grandmaster would find it difficult to capture you. Your wandering heaven steps and Earth Source sword chi would create significant obstacles. While you can't defeat an ultimate grandmaster, escaping wouldn't be a problem. You turn to Wan Qingwan. Good friend, wanna come play at Danxia sect for a couple days? The sect leader is in the capital. I stay with her. Wan Qingwan refuses, though her tone remains amused. What, is someone trying to kill Lian Long again? Honestly, being emperor seems pointless, either being assassinated or on the way to being assassinated. No, the sect leader and other major faction leaders have all come to the capital. Not sure why. All of them. You look at Hu Zhangshuan, elder uncle, do you know? Hu Zhangshuan shakes his head in confusion. Though you can't figure it out, you're certain these ultimate grandmasters are up to no good, but you can't be bothered to care. You leave directly with Wan Qingwan. Wan Qingwan goes to find Yan Jixue. You shoot into the sky, transforming into a streak of light heading toward Danxia sect. This time you plan to return quietly to avoid revealing your strength and drawing more attention to Danxia sect. You remind yourself, must enter the village quietly, no gunfire. Traveling at full speed, you soon reach Danxia sect. You know that normally, upon returning, you'd coincidentally arrive just as Danxia sect was cornered by a powerful enemy, allowing you to dramatically appear and save the day. You've even prepared some heroic one-liners, choosing the most impactful. How dare a mere grandmaster bully my sect? Taste my blade. Imagining the scene makes you tremble with excitement. You're fully prepared to show off. But when you return, you find Danxia sect peaceful and quiet. So you go find Wan Bai. You discover Wan Bai sighing deeply. Turns out a late-stage dragon transformation cultivator came yesterday claiming Danxia sect owed him 200 essence pills. Wan Bai knows this is another extortion attempt. Several such people have come recently. These extortionists don't demand much, just a few dozen or 100 pills, taking their loot and leaving quite professionally. Considering the loss is minor, Wan Bai thought it better to pay than provoke trouble. Hiring high-level martial artists for protection would cost more than the extorted pills. But daily extortion is unbearable. So Wan Bai had already sent letters to you and Hu Zhangxuan days ago, though the messages naturally haven't arrived due to the distance. Just as Wan Bai worries about what to do next, you descend from the sky in radiant splendor. You stride directly into the main hall, where Wan Bai's fragile heart is instantly soothed at the sight of you. It's as if he's seeing his own father's towering figure. Warm sunlight floods his heart. Senior brother, why did you take so long to return? Wan Bai clutches your leg, weeping uncontrollably with perfect emotional delivery. Senior brother, now that you're back, the dawn has come. You pat Wan Bai's head. Good child, tell senior brother, which little bully picked on you? Wan Bai explains everything in detail. He adds that yesterday's late-stage dragon transformation extortionist left saying, I also bought 50 healing pills. I'll come back tomorrow for them. Your eyes narrow. That motherfucker's gotten addicted to pills. Exactly, senior brother. Wan Bai says resentfully. You look at Wan Bai. Tomorrow lure that greedy kitten into the main hall. I'll cure his gluttony. Wan Bai nods frantically. Yes. Senior brother, yes. Dear Tim. The late-stage dragon transformation cultivator indeed returns. Wan Bai gracefully leads him into the main hall. Hero Zhang, please sit. You mentioned buying 50 golden sour pills, but our records show no such transaction. Hero Zhang, seated in a chair, glares. Huh. Is Danxia sect going back on its word? Don't blame me for losing my temper. Bang. Hero Zhang slams his palm, shattering a fine rosewood tea table into splinters and dust. Hero Zhang. Don't be angry, I've sent for the account books. Once verified, we'll get your pills immediately. Wan Bai hurriedly placates. What account books? Get me my pills. Hero Zhang roars. Since he never actually bought any, the accounts would only expose his lie. But Wan Bai remains unmoved. Hero Zhang knows that one-on-one, no one in Danxia sect can match him, but if the whole sect gangs up, he'd be in trouble. So he hasn't resorted to direct force. But Wan Bai's indifference to his blatant extortion makes Hero Zhang feel the sting of passive aggression. Fury rises in his heart as malice fills his guts. He raises his palm to strike Wan Bai's chest. Clang! A clear blade rings out. Hero Zhang's hand is severed clean at the wrist. Hero Zhang let out a miserable scream and suddenly retreated violently. He looked up in terror and saw you holding the soul-awakening blade, having appeared at the seat he had just occupied without anyone noticing. Who are you? He stared at you suspiciously while circulating his true chi to stop the bleeding from his wrist that was pouring blood. Which organization are you from? You asked coldly. Hero Zhang shuddered all over under your icy killing intent. He felt it keenly and stammered, I have no sect, no faction. I'm a lone warrior. No sect or faction? No sect or faction. Clang. You sliced Hero Zhang from head to toe with one stroke, producing 2 fresh corpses. If you had said no gang earlier, I wouldn't have had to hide for so long. You ordered Wanbai to clean up the bodies and conceal the news, making sure no one knew. However, Wanbai stared at you blankly for a long while without moving. Your strength shocked him for 10,000 years. He had expected a fierce life-and-death battle between you and Hero Zhang. But little did he know you dispatched Hero Zhang, a late-stage dragon transformation cultivator, with a single light stroke. Ignoring Wanbai's stunned open mouth, you returned directly to your former courtyard. As usual, you went to pay respects at Xia Huida's and Deng Rusing's graves. Wanbai had kept the two graves clean and tidy. From the outside, they looked like they were freshly buried today. In the following days, you and Wanbai worked together running a sting operation. Wanbai was responsible for luring the extorting warriors into the Danxia sect, and you guided them toward the end of their lives. During this period, a late-stage Grandmaster Cultivator even appeared. That day, facing the Grandmaster Cultivator, Wanbai was so frightened that he could barely speak and his legs trembled as he walked. He barely summoned his courage to bring that Grandmaster to the Danxia sect's main hall. He thought you wouldn't be able to defeat this person and desperately contemplated what to do. Wanbai trembled inside, considering whether to just give the Grandmaster a pill. You, however, rushed out without hesitation and clashed clang after clang with the late-stage Grandmaster. Seeing your desperate struggle, Wanbai was so moved that he fled more than 20 miles on the spot. When he sneaked back at night to collect your body, you happened to block him. Wanbai sat on the ground in terror, pleading that the debts and grievances should have clear owners, telling you to go haunt whoever tried to kill you and not drag him down. With Tilden Beta. You threw the Grandmaster's corpse in front of him, and only then did he believe you had killed this late-stage Grandmaster Cultivator. You, a mid-stage essence refining cultivator, killing a late-stage Grandmaster was almost a fairy tale. Wanbai's respect for you had turned into deep fear. He asked if the Grandmaster had died from a heart attack during the fight. You kicked him irritably and told him to handle the corpse. In truth, this battle was not easy for you. You had unleashed a tremendous amount of Earth Source sword chi and needed 10 to 15 days to recover properly. Fortunately, after these dragon transformation and Grandmaster cultivators mysteriously never returned from the Danxia sect, no one dared to take advantage of the chaotic martial world situation to harass Danxia sect anymore. You also had time to heal your injuries. While recuperating, you heard news about Lin Mo. Lin Mo, now 30 years old, had already reached the late-stage dragon transformation. Your martial cultivation realm was completely surpassed by him. He showed you no face in surpassing your realm at all. This recent intense upheaval in the martial world also dragged Lin Mo's Heavenly Dao Alliance into the fray, suffering considerable casualties. Lin Mo himself rose to fame through this turmoil. His insanely fast martial cultivation speed taught a harsh lesson to everyone in the martial world. More importantly, not only was Lin Mo advancing rapidly, his combat strength was also terrifying. A few days ago, Lin Mo, at late-stage dragon transformation, successfully reversed and defeated a veteran peak Grandmaster, shocking the entire Great Qian. This battle solidified Lin Mo's reputation. Everyone in the martial world now knew there was a prodigious genius Heavenly Dao Alliance leader who, despite being only dragon transformation level, already radiated the aura of the #1 ultimate Grandmaster contender, extremely impressive. Lin Mo was riding high, and you deliberately avoided contacting him to prevent anyone from noticing your connection. After healing, you still guarded the Danxia sect. However, there were now absolutely no people daring to come to Danxia sect to poke around. Since that late-stage Grandmaster never returned, the Underworld brothers guessed that Hu Zhangshuan had returned to Danxia sect. But soon it was discovered that Hu Zhangshuan had not returned and was still clocking in at the capital normally. This instantly cast a veil of mystery over Danxia sect, making outsiders even more afraid to cause trouble. While cultivating, you looked at the chaotic martial world situation and an idea surfaced. Is it okay if I take advantage of the chaos to investigate Duan Qian's house? According to the information Hu Zhangshuan gave you earlier, Duan Qian had a peak Grandmaster cultivator as a personal bodyguard. You still remembered the experience of that cultivator cutting your large ball off, which was noted carefully in your little notebook. though the cultivator himself didn't know he had killed you. But this grudge had to be remembered because your mind was narrower than a needle's eye. After all, he wasted a whole moment of your real time, an unforgivable crime. You couldn't kill that peak Grandmaster instantly yet, but with some effort, using fully automated Earth Source Sword Chi to blast him to death was still possible. This time, you wanted to stand before him and show how much you still resembled your old self. But this trip wasn't to risk your life. You only wanted to check whether all the captured people Duanqian had taken were handed over to Liu, and maybe you could probe Liu's background a little. With this thought, you set off the same day, fearing that if you left too late, the martial world would no longer be chaotic and you'd be easily exposed. This time, you prepared a decent sword for yourself and arranged for a disciple of the Sword Establishment Pavilion to take the blame if anything unexpected happened. You crossed mountains and rivers and soon arrived at Duanqian's residence. By your fourth simulation, you had already figured out Duanqian's routine and the guard shift changes. If you wanted to enter Duanqian's mansion, you were as familiar with it as your own home. But you didn't act rashly. You waited outside until midnight before cautiously entering the mansion. Once inside, you activated Divine Microvision, which maximized your insight and perception. However, after searching the mansion 2 or 3 times, you couldn't find that peak Grandmaster cultivator. You even focused on the rooms around Duanqian and still found no sign of him. With your current martial strength, perfect divine microvision, and innate flying sky cockroach traits, a peak Grandmaster cultivator absolutely could not evade your detection. This only meant that the peak Grandmaster really wasn't at Duanqian's mansion. But isn't he Duanqian's shadow bodyguard? Could it be that without shadows at night, there's no protection? You didn't dwell on this for now and started searching for other clues. Soon, you discovered something very unusual. You found that beneath Duanqian's residence was a huge dungeon, almost the same size as the house above ground, with 3 levels in total. How many people the hell could they fit here? You cautiously entered the dark, damp dungeon. You found all 3 levels were empty, looking abandoned for quite some time. But the mottled bloodstains on the walls and floors revealed that this place had been a human hell. You estimated the brutality must have nearly matched your 10,000-man pit. The dungeon has been empty for so long, which means Duanqian has washed his hands of it for quite a while, your mind churned. If Duanqian used these youngsters as bribes, then as long as he's still in office, the political transactions wouldn't suddenly stop. That means these youngsters were sacrificed for cultivation, and those cultivating have reached their limit, so Duanqian stopped capturing people. You roughly understood the situation. After leaving the dungeon, you cautiously searched a few more times but found nothing else. You slipped away only at the first light of dawn. After leaving Duanqian's mansion, you didn't return straight to Danxia sect. Instead, you circled several states with divine microvision active and even went twice around the Songwang Desert. You visited your old home from the years you were known as the Desert Reaper, but since you hadn't planted trees or cultivated the land, it remained a barren desert. After confirming you weren't being followed, you headed to Danxia sect. By the time you returned to Danxia sect, it was already the next year. Year 40, you were 55 years old. After you got back, Wanbai found you and said that the martial world upheaval had ended. He also said Hu Zhangshuan had come looking for you several times, telling you to return and meet him in the capital as he had something to tell you. So, after months of rushing on the road, you set out for the capital again. You sighed softly, my business is just too busy. Just as you finished sighing and prepared to depart from the Danxia sect, Hu Zhangshuan happened to arrive. Hu Zhangshuan landed in your courtyard and visibly relaxed upon seeing you. Having received no news from you for several months, he had clearly been worried. His main concern was that if you died, there would be no one to refine the reviving young pills. Though of course, as your elder, he also felt some genuine concern. Where have you been running off to these past months? Hu Zhangshuan asked with concern in his voice. You smiled. The world is vast. I just went out for a walk. Hu Zhangshuan studied you. As long as you're unharmed. Uncle, you've come looking for me several times. There must be something important. Indeed, there are 2 matters I wish to discuss. Your expression brightened. Let me guess. News about the Earth Source? Hu Zhongshuan hesitated before responding. There are indeed new developments, but I'm still considering. How is your pill refining progressing? Still haven't mastered 8th grade, but I can feel the breakthrough isn't far off. Hu Zhongshuan's face lit up. Good. As long as there's hope. Uncle, you mentioned 2 matters. What's the other one? It's like this. Hu Zhongshuan then explained the origins of the recent martial world turmoil. Originally, this conflict had been deliberately instigated by Li Onlong working behind the scenes. He sent agents disguised as members of various sects to attack others, deliberately leaving evidence to frame them and sow discord between factions. Naturally unaware of the deception, each sect believed they were merely retaliating, attacking their supposed enemies with lethal force. The violence escalated rapidly. As more sects became involved, the situation erupted into full-scale conflict. By the later stages, none cared any more about who had struck first. Their sole desire was the complete annihilation of their enemies. When the chaos reached unprecedented levels, many began suspecting something unnatural about these events. Major sects launched investigations into the conflict's origins. The sects gathered and interrogated those involved in the initial clashes, discovering neither side had actually instigated the attacks as claimed. After examining more cases, they finally realized a third party had been manipulating events from the start. If this large-scale bloodshed continued unchecked, every sect would suffer devastating losses, with irreparable rifts forming between them. Eventually, they might fragment into isolated factions constantly at war. The question was obvious: who stood to benefit most from such division? All evidence pointed to Li Onlong. The truth was that during both the Earth Source distribution at Yajianku and the Imperial Throne defense, Li Onlong had paid several grandmasters from major sects for assistance. This made him realize these sects' combined power threatened his rule. A with Diaresis Epsilon. While the Li Imperial clan boasted the most grandmasters of any single faction, the martial world's total number of grandmasters was 2 to 3 times greater. Li Onlong feared that if the sects ever united under something like a martial alliance leader, he might end up calling someone else Your Majesty. Thus began Li Onlong's campaign to divide and weaken the sects through manufactured conflicts. His plan was to let grievances fester before crushing each faction individually, consolidating his own power. But this time, Li Onlong had acted too blatantly and hastily. The major sects caught on, and their grandmaster representatives converged on the capital. The message was clear: as long as Li Onlong ruled peacefully, the martial world would respect his authority. But with his scheming exposed, the Brothers of the Road needed to have words with His Majesty. Being rough martial artists, their words might be blunt and their actions forceful, for which they could only offer a casual sorry. When Wan Qingwan previously mentioned Yan Jixue and numerous grandmasters arriving in the capital, this was the event she referred to. Before entering the capital, these leaders had restrained their own sects and affiliates, allowing tensions to gradually ease this year. After hearing Hu Zhongshuan's account, you asked, did they kill Li Onlong? Hu Zhongshuan gave you a weary look. Only about 20 grandmaster representatives came. They negotiated terms with His Majesty before departing. Li Onlong must have paid dearly this time. Let's just say his face remained ashen for months. You understood Li Onlong had suffered major losses, not just in compensation, but in alienating the major sections. Future requests for assistance would likely be refused. Most ironically, Li Onlong's scheming had given the previously fragmented martial world a common enemy in Emperor Xuanwu himself. Rather than dividing the sects, he'd unintentionally united them. Should the martial brothers take inspiration and actually form a martial alliance, Li Onlong wouldn't dare close his eyes to sleep. You had no particular thoughts about the scheming emperor, only that he might one day engineer his own downfall. After your conversation, Hu Zhongshuan wanted you to return to the capital with him. But you remained at Danxia sect to test an idea. Hu Zhongshuan departed alone, no longer concerned for your safety after learning from Wan Bai about your ability to kill grandmaster-level experts. Though shocked, he strictly ordered Wan Bai to keep this secret. A mid-stage essence refining cultivator killing a late-stage grandmaster was unheard of, your ability to defeat higher-level opponents surpassed even the recently famous Heavenly Tao Alliance leader Lin Mo, who Zhongshuan knew you must possess special methods, but asked no questions. In their world, everyone had secrets. After Hu Zhongshuan left, you continued training diligently at Danxia sect. You reflected on your rigorous cultivation, practicing through summer's heat and winter's cold, 39 days here, 27 there. You shook your head to clear it. Within days, you completed your 7th true qi condensation. Against that same late-stage grandmaster now, you wouldn't suffer such severe injuries. You set out to find Lin Mo, needing his help with a small matter. Your comprehension of Earth Source Sword Qi progressed frustratingly slow. You planned to demonstrate some Earth Source Sword Qi techniques for Lin Mo, hoping he might offer insights to accelerate your understanding. Soon you arrived at Lin Mo's Heavenly Tao Alliance, now thriving with talent and impressive displays of power. Using Lin Mo's exclusive VIP Alliance Leader token, you gained entry. Finding Lin Mo, you led him to your usual secluded training valley where you stood by a large lake. Lin Mo, watch closely. Uncle's going to show you some real sword qi. Bang! A surge of Earth Source sword qi shot out, exploding at the center of the vast lake and sending massive water splashes into the air, causing the entire lake surface to tremble violently. Many fish in the lake floated belly up to the surface. The sheer power made Lin Mo gasp in shock. Uncle Yu, what technique is this? Did you create this too? Well, this is actually, You almost instinctively claimed credit. But fortunately you stopped yourself in time, suppressing the strong urge to show off. Otherwise, when Lin Mo truly came into contact with Earth Source, you'd be thoroughly embarrassed. You told Lin Mo this was a signature technique created by someone else. Lin Mo nodded thoughtfully. The creator must have been an ultimate grandmaster. You asked if Lin Mo had noticed anything special about it, but he didn't have many insights yet. You fired several more bursts of Earth Source Sword Qi to give him a clearer demonstration. This time Lin Mo actually gained some comprehension, though it wasn't particularly helpful to you. Having already mastered 16 strands of Earth Source Sword Qi yourself, you'd already considered most of what Lin Mo pointed out. But this did prove Lin Mo's extraordinary talent. Just by watching your demonstrations, he could analyze the technique. You persistently demonstrated Earth Source Sword Qi to Lin Mo, and gradually he began offering insights you hadn't considered before. Seeing hope, you continued showing Lin Mo the Sword Qi from every angle, fast, slow, heavy, light, trying every possible variation. Truthfully, letting Lin Mo directly comprehend the Earth Source would be more efficient. You could even have him focus only on the 8 strands you hadn't mastered yet, going straight to the key points. But you didn't dare do that. Given Lin Mo's talent, you feared he might slurp up all your Earth Source in one go. He might even burp and ask if you had any more of such treasures. So letting Lin Mo directly comprehend the Earth Source would be like giving a death sentence to a duck, completely unnecessary. After Lin Mo started gaining new insights into Earth Source, the two of you built a small cabin and settled in the canyon. Every day, you'd release Earth Source Sword Qi for Lin Mo to analyze and help your comprehension. Lin Mo's insights became increasingly valuable to your progress. 3 months later, thanks to Lin Mo's meticulous analysis and shared experiences, you successfully comprehended 2 new strands of Earth Source Sword Qi. Out of 24 total strands, you'd now mastered 18. Feeling pleased, you were about to give Lin Mo some motivational talk to keep him working hard, when suddenly you sensed violent surges of true qi around Lin Mo as he cultivated, the powerful aura of dragon transformation peak stage erupting from him. Alfeni. Your jaw dropped. You broke through. Through comprehending Earth Source Sword Qi, Lin Mo had directly advanced from late dragon transformation to peak dragon transformation. And this wasn't even from direct Earth Source comprehension, just from analyzing the Sword Qi you released after your own comprehension. It was like you ate a full meal, while Lin Mo just smelled the aroma from beside you, yet somehow gained 20 pounds. Absolutely ridiculous. You were convinced, thoroughly convinced, and grateful you hadn't let Lin Mo directly comprehend the Earth Source. Uncle Yu, thank you. Thank you for pushing me, letting me comprehend Sword Qi, always believing in me and nurturing me. I'll never forget your kindness. Thud. Bang, bang, bang. Lin Mo performed a triple kata before standing back up. You were stunned. This kid was too sincere. But you couldn't blame him. From Lin Mo's perspective, you exhausted your true chi daily and used precious pills to recover, all just to release sword chi for his benefit. To prevent slacking, you made him summarize his daily insights. You appeared as the perfect strict butt-carrying mentor. This moved Lin Mo to tears. Looking at him, you realized his imagination might be even stronger than his martial talent. A genius with wild imagination. You patted this imaginative kid's shoulder with feigned kindness. Good boy, I'm glad you understand your uncle's intentions. Let's continue. Lin Mo nodded solemnly, eyes filled with determination. 2 months later, you squeezed out 2 more strands of Earth Source sword chi from Lin Mo's analyses. You'd now comprehended 20 strands, with only 4 remaining. Another month passed. Feeling Lin Mo's insights were no longer as helpful, you gradually reduced the frequency of your sessions. You began focusing on mastering 8th grade pill refining at Donxia sect. Batch after batch of 8th grade pills ended as failures. Yet you grew increasingly confident. You could feel the breakthrough coming. Year 41. After another failed batch of 8th grade pills, you decided to rest for 2 days before making your final push for 8th grade mastery. The day was clear with a pleasant breeze. You visited Xia Huida's gravesite. Hands behind your head, a blade of grass between your teeth, you leaned leisurely against the grave mound. Master, truth be told, my pill refining is about to surpass yours. But don't blame me for this. If I succeed in refining the reviving yang pill for Master's wife, she'll be with Martial Uncle from then on. You wouldn't mind, right? If you really mind, just say something. Well, since you're not saying anything, don't blame me later. You stayed until sunset before returning to your courtyard. Upon returning, you found a letter from Lin Mo announcing he'd reached early Grandmaster stage, proudly stating he hadn't disappointed you. You froze reading the letter. After a long pause, you let out a shrill scream. You damn kid. You've completely disappointed me. Lin Mo's progress after comprehending Earth Source sword chi was terrifying. Just last year, he reached peak dragon transformation, and now he was already early Grandmaster. You raged, is this even human? In fury, you threw some rose seeds into the dirt and angrily watered them. After venting, you headed inside to refine pills. But Hu Zhongshuan suddenly landed excitedly in your courtyard. His face flushed with excitement. You approached. Oh? Good news, Martial Uncle. Hu Zhongshuan couldn't contain his grin. Great news. I can obtain a strand of Earth Source. Your eyebrows shot up. No shit. Really? Absolutely true. Congratulations, Martial Uncle. You genuinely shared his joy. By the way, any progress with 8th grade pills? Hu Zhongshuan asked eagerly. You smiled, about to break through to entry level. Pretty confident. Excellent. Hu Zhongshuan's voice trembled. How much longer? Just a few days. After thinking, Hu Zhongshuan excitedly said, then I'll stay a few days. Wait, Martial Uncle, why are you supervising me like a prisoner? I'm not going anywhere. Hu Zhongshuan hesitated. You're right, I might disturb you. I'll return to the capital then. No need. You said confidently, stay 2 days. Seeing my progress might reassure you. Hu Zhongshuan brightened. Deal. You turned and entered the pill refining room. On the 3rd day, you emerged calmly. Hu Zhongshuan, who had been waiting anxiously, sprang up and stared intently. You opened your palm, revealing 2 8th grade pills exuding medicinal fragrance. Martial Uncle, mission accomplished. Hu Zhongshuan's expression was excited as he quickly walked over. He immediately took the 2 8th grade pills from your hand and carefully examined them. Feeling the faint residual heat of the pills burning slightly in his hand, Hu Zhongshuan laughed loudly while looking up at the sky. Excellent. Excellent, my good junior nephew. It's not far now, finally not far. After a burst of laughter, Hu Zhongshuan soared into the sky and flew toward the capital city. You stared at your empty hands, stunned for a moment. Hey? Wait a minute. Give me back the pills, old dang. Those are 8th grade pills. Hu Zhongshuan was so excited he didn't hear a thing. Within a few breaths, he had flown far away, You couldn't even catch up if you wanted to. You were extremely annoyed. I've always been the one sneaking things from others, but today someone sneaked something from me. What a humiliation, an absolute disgrace. Watching Hu Zhongshuan's figure grow smaller and smaller, you gradually calmed down. A thoughtful glint flickered in your eyes. Hu Zhongshuan had sounded very happy when he said he could get Earth Source, but you knew he must be paying a huge price. He didn't say where the Earth Source came from, but you could roughly guess it was provided by Lian Long. Because Hu Zhongshuan had few connections among the martial world sects, the only way to obtain Earth Source was to ask from imperial relatives and high-ranking officials. Given the rarity of Earth Source, the only one who could spare extra Earth Source was Lian Long. You stroked your chin. Lian Long provides the Earth Source. So what's the price? As your senior uncle is a key official in the court, unless Lian Long asks him to commit suicide on the spot, Lian Long can basically make your senior uncle do anything. But Lian Long gave your senior uncle a piece of Earth Source. What kind of matter requires Lian Long to additionally give your senior uncle Earth Source for him to devote himself fully? You couldn't think of an answer for now, but you believed the answer would come soon. Because the thing Hu Zhongshuan is going to do definitely isn't small. Whether it succeeds or fails, you should know about it. You went back to focus on your own cultivation. 7 months later, relying on your world-rare comprehension ability, you finally grasped a whole Earth Source sword chi without Lin Mo's guidance. You somewhat missed Lin Mo's rapid pace of leading you to comprehend 4 pieces of Earth Source in 5 months, but unfortunately, his enlightenment no longer had much effect on you. Thailand bought Epsilon section. You had currently comprehended 21 of the 24 Earth Source sword chis, with only 3 remaining to unlock. Your 9 condensation's profound skill had completed 8 rounds of true chi condensation, with only the last one left to complete the entire true chi condensation of the essence refining realm. Now the bone quality improvement brought by the 9 condensation's profound skill became very obvious. Your martial talent was comparable to the direct disciples of the 5 major sects. Your talent was soon validated. 1 month later. Boom! Centered on you, a circle of transparent shockwaves rippled outward. Your dark green robe fluttered wildly. The small courtyard's houses shook several times before finally standing crooked and unstable. Your house instantly became a dangerous building. Your martial realm directly advanced into the late essence refining stage. Awesome. Totally awesome. Now even without unleashing Earth Source sword chi, late-stage Grandmaster warriors couldn't withstand your single strike. You didn't stop and further cultivated the Heavenly Desire formless technique to the late essence refining stage. Now you could fight, run, and had a deadly trump card. You were strong in all aspects. You had never been this confident before. With abnormal confidence, you recalled your minor friction with Li Yu and Duan Qian. You clenched your fist and said in a low voice, "Prince Yongning Li Yu, huh? Today maybe tomorrow or the day after, well, maybe in a few years, I will definitely make you pay." The more you spoke, the more hesitant your expression became because you realized Li Yu was at the peak of Grandmaster realm and couldn't be defeated without injury for now. "Today, I'll just let you off the hook," you muttered viciously to yourself. "Who are you letting off the hook?" A cool and lively voice came. Wan Qingwan appeared in the courtyard, her brows and eyes smiling at you. You looked up calmly. "You're here, my ordinary friend." Wan Qingwan's mouth twitched slightly as she pulled a book from her arms. Sect-level martial skill, Garden Gate body technique. Your expression instantly brightened as you quickly walked over with a flattering smile. "You're too kind, my good friend." You reached out and took the martial skill, flipping through it excitedly. Your eyes held only a thirst for the sect martial skill, without any other emotions. Wan Qingwan's face was cool and calm as she slightly raised her head to look at you. Her eyes glittered with a mysterious light. After a brief look, you understood the Garden Gate body technique was a body-strengthening martial skill that required collecting blood from fierce beasts to integrate into your own body to enhance physique. The stronger the physique of the beast, the better the strengthening effect for the practitioner. Wan Qingwan told you there was once a martial artist with very poor talent who gave up martial arts and focused on collecting various fierce beast bloods to integrate into himself. Eventually, that martial artist's physical body strength reached a level second only to the ultimate grandmaster. If that martial artist hadn't reached the end of his lifespan, his limit could have increased further, possibly reaching the level comparable to the ultimate grandmaster's physical body. Therefore, the Garden Gate body technique's upper limit was very high, but it required collecting a huge variety of blood to be effective. It was a martial skill relying not only on strength but also on luck. Can it really make the body comparable to an ultimate grandmaster? You asked excitedly. Wan Qingwan lightly laughed. Yes. You were thrilled. Great. Little Wan, I hereby declare that from today, our good friend relationship is upgraded. You are promoted to my sworn friend. Congratulations. Wan Qingwan smiled intoxicatedly, her voice like a clear mountain stream. All right. You sincerely smiled back. You smiled because the Garden Gate body technique was tailor-made for you. Since you could simulate endlessly, you had no worry about lifespan exhaustion. Theoretically, you could collect the blood of every fierce beast in the world. Moreover, the upper limit of the Garden Gate body technique was unknown. If the limit was the ultimate grandmaster, you had already gained a lot. If the limit was even higher, you would profit immensely. You would become an ultimate grandmaster sooner or later, and with the Garden Gate body technique, your physical body would be a super enhanced version even among ultimate grandmasters. And you thought quietly, if I capture fierce beasts and raise them in captivity, feeding them pills daily, their physique will surely become stronger. Then if I bleed them one by one, wouldn't I get super beast blood? The more you thought about it, the more feasible it seemed, and you couldn't help laughing out loud. Ha ha, I'm a genius. Wan Qingwan tilted her head slightly in puzzlement. In what way? Every way. Wan Qingwan smiled faintly. Then why is your cultivation realm still below mine? You hurriedly interrupted. Shut your fragrant mouth. Don't say things that hurt feelings. How do you know it's fragrant? I knew it. You've tasted it? None of your business. Wan Qingwan fell silent, pursed her moist, red lips, and a small arc appeared at the corner of her mouth. You felt your mouth go a bit dry as well. Thirsty? You asked. What? You suddenly hugged Wan Qingwan tightly and pressed your lips against hers. Soft and fragrant, she melted into your embrace as you indulged yourself. Little Wan was caught off guard and responded clumsily. After a long while, the lips parted. In Wan Qingwan's eyes, ripples of water flowed. Her cool, pale cheeks added a few more charms. You suddenly lifted Wan Qingwan in a horizontal embrace. She laughed lightly and wrapped her arms around your neck. You smiled faintly. Since the atmosphere is set, let me take you to see my special bed. What's so special about it? It has 4 bedposts. Hee hee, that's so special I have to see it. Here omitted 100,000 words. Another classic next day. The two of you woke up refreshed and energized. You went to the small courtyard and lay down on 2 recliners. What exactly is our relationship now? Wan Qingwan slightly narrowed her eyes as she gazed at the sky. Don't worry, we're still good friends. We just did some things that only good friends can do. How many good friends do you have? Just you. Wan Qingwan's eyes curved into crescents, her expression peaceful and serene. You spent a pleasant half-day lounging together in this friendly atmosphere. Oh. Wan Qingwan suddenly remembered something. Did you know your martial uncle has been promoted to Minister of Personnel? You turned your head in surprise. My martial uncle got promoted. Yes. You were instantly dumbfounded. You couldn't understand. Li Onlong had already bestowed the Earth Source upon Hu Zhongshuan, which was an enormous favor. Not only did Hu Zhongshuan not have to pay any price, but he was even promoted to Minister of Personnel. The Ministry of Personnel was always the highest among the 6 ministries, responsible for official appointments and transfers. The Minister of Personnel was even jokingly called the Heavenly Official. Hu Zhongshuan had previously been left Vice Minister in the Ministry of War. While still an influential position, he was ultimately second in command under the Minister of War. Now Li Onlong directly appointed Hu Zhongshuan as head of the Ministry of Personnel, putting him firmly above his former superior. What scheme is that clever little devil Li Onlong plotting now? After some thought, you decided to go to the capital to investigate. You stood up. Good friend, I'm going to the capital. Wanna come? Wan Qingwan slowly opened her drowsy eyes, smiling brightly. Together. Come on, hop on. Wan Qingwan stood up and threw herself into your arms. You picked her up bridal style as she wrapped her arms around your neck. Whoosh! Carrying Wan Qingwan's bonelessly soft body, you shot into the sky. Half a month later, taking a rest stop, the two of you entered an inn. You sat down and waved. Waiter, menu. Coming. The waiter hurried over. What would you like to order, honored guests? You gestured grandly. 2 small bowls of beef noodles. Extra beef, extra noodles. The waiter's eyes sparkled with understanding. So you mean 2 large bowls of beef noodles? Huh. A true professional waiter indeed. Nothing gets past you. You feigned surprise before changing your order. Just bring us 5 of your signature dishes. Rambi S. You remembered during the 3rd simulation, your 80th birthday was celebrated with Wan Qingwan over 5 dishes. You couldn't help but glance at Wan Qingwan across the table. Wan Qingwan looked back at you. The two of you gazed at each other with such intimacy it could form threads. Just then, a conversation behind you caught your attention. Oldly, not bad. You're getting some meat in your diet now. Old Zhao, what do you mean? If you can afford meat now, why can't I? True. We've been poor our whole lives, never thought we'd see this day. Heaven has eyes after all. What do you mean heaven? You should thank Minister Hu. If he hadn't forcefully implemented the taxation by land acreage policy, we'd still be crushed under all those excessive taxes. Yes, both His Majesty and Minister Hu are gods descended to save us commoners. Taxation by land acreage. You murmured, so Li Yanlong finally did something decent. Now you understood why Hu Zhongshuan had been promoted to Minister of Personnel. Li Yanlong was using Hu Zhongshuan as his sharpest blade to implement this policy that would upset most of the gentry and nobility. Taxation by land acreage simplified Great Qian's numerous, complicated taxes into one official tax, and only taxed based on the amount of land farmers owned. Payment was standardized in silver, preventing lower officials from using tricks like overflowing measures to profit. The policy abolished miscellaneous taxes, suddenly cutting off the nobility and officials' illegal profit channels. By now, all court officials probably hated Hu Zhongshuan, who had been pushed into direct opposition with all privileged interest groups. Understanding the situation. After the meal, you and Wan Qingwan flew to the capital at even greater speed. Soon, you arrived at the capital with Wan Qingwan. Familiar with the route, you landed directly in Hu Zhongshuan's residence. Guards immediately surrounded you upon detection. Who goes there? How dare you intrude upon Minister Hu's residence? The original guards all knew you, but these were all unfamiliar faces. Each carried a deadly aura, clearly veterans who had seen real combat. You frowned slightly. As tensions rose, Hu Zhongshuan hurried from his study. Stand down. Yes, sir. Hu Zhongshuan looked at you, then at Wan Qingwan. Come inside. You followed him to the study. You noticed Hu Zhongshuan seemed more tense and alert than usual. Dang Wanshu's cold jade coffin was also in the study, with Dang Wanshu lying inside. But you noticed it wasn't the original coffin, but a new one. Puzzled, you asked, Marshal Uncle, the atmosphere here seems different. Hu Zhongshuan hesitated before answering. Someone tried to kill Wanshu. I've increased security. You frowned, because of the taxation by land acreage policy. Hu Zhongshuan looked at you in mild surprise, didn't expect you to understand court affairs. It turned out Hu Zhongshuan had earned the hatred of nearly all court officials for implementing the policy. Once taxation by land acreage was fully implemented across Great Qian, Hu Zhongshuan would become disposable to Li Yanlong. All wronged parties would then settle accounts with Hu Zhongshuan. As an ultimate grandmaster, Hu Zhongshuan himself was untouchable. But Dang Wanshu made a perfect target. Assassins had already been hired to kill Dang Wanshu in revenge. Recently, a grandmaster-level assassin had attacked Dang Wanshu at night. Fortunately, Hu Zhongshuan intervened in time, narrowly preventing tragedy. But Dang Wanshu's coffin was shattered, and she nearly injured, an extremely close call. Hence Hu Zhongshuan had been on high alert. He requested trusted veterans from Yajianko to completely upgrade residence security, now an impenetrable fortress. You could imagine Hu Zhongshuan's lingering fear. After comforting him, you decided to stay at the residence. After all, Auntie still carried half of your master's legacy. Protecting her was no trouble. Hu Zhongshuan was overjoyed at your offer, knowing you could kill late-stage grandmasters. With you present, only an ultimate grandmaster could pose any threat. You settled into the residence. Wan Qingwan stayed with you for several months. Your nightly activities disturbed the entire household. Eventually, Hu Zhongshuan prepared a separate courtyard. He tactfully suggested you lovebirds would enjoy more privacy. Fine, I'll stay separately with my good friend, you agreed. Finally, the household could sleep peacefully again. Year 42. After Wan Qingwan left, your legs finally stopped trembling. You no longer needed excuses like, too tired today, or I owe you one. You resumed regular cultivation. One day, you completed the 9th and final true qi refinement of the essence refining stage. Your condensed true qi brought your combat power to peak grandmaster level. You also gained new insight into Earth Source Sword Qi. Only 2 of the 24 Earth Source Sword Qi remained. You eagerly anticipated fully merging with the Earth Source. That year, Lian Long's 134th birthday celebration was held at the palace. Surprisingly, Prince Yongning Liu, who hadn't visited the capital for decades, requested permission to attend. Lian Long granted his request. You were baffled. Why would that turtle stick its neck out now? On the emperor's birthday, the main streets of the capital were decorated with colorful archways adorned with auspicious plaques and couplets. As night fell, countless exquisitely crafted lanterns illuminated the lantern towers and streets of the capital, transforming the night into bright daylight. Hu Zhongshuan also entered the palace to attend Lian Long's birthday celebration. During the banquet, various imperial relatives and high-ranking officials presented their congratulatory gifts. Hu Zhongshuan stepped forward to present his gift as well. Seeing Hu Zhongshuan approach, Lian Long publicly commended him before all officials for implementing the taxation by land acreage policy. The expressions of the officials varied dramatically. When it was Liu's turn to present his gift, Lian Long gave him a long, meaningful look. Then Lian Long suddenly remarked, "So Prince Yongning knew all along. It seems we were the foolish ones." Liu immediately knelt in terror, kowtowing violently. "Your Majesty, please calm your anger. This unworthy grandson is too dull to understand your Majesty's meaning." Lian Long chuckled, "As you wish." A barely concealed smile flashed across Liu's face. "Many thanks, Your Majesty." That night, Hu Zhongshuan returned to his residence. He hurried to check on Dang Wanshu immediately upon returning. Seeing you safely cultivating in the secret chamber, he sighed in relief. You slowly opened your eyes and smiled. "Uncle Master, back from the extravagant banquet. Those palace delicacies were just nibbles. Only we master-nephew pair can truly feast. Come, tonight we drink until we drop." You stood up, "Until we drop." After a night of heavy drinking, you both retired separately. You returned to your cultivation. You balanced pill refining with cultivation. During this period, you also began preparations for the Garden Gate body technique. You captured numerous fierce beasts, lions, tigers, bears of all sizes, wild boars, none escaped your grasp. Now wealthy beyond measure, you purchased a large plot on the capital's outskirts and built a manor to house these beasts. You gave this manor a lovely name, the zoo. Hiring specialized caretakers, you visited daily to feed the animals body-enhancing pills. Initially giving them human-grade strengthening pills. Later innovating animal-specific pills, the second-grade blood beast pills. As a proper 7th-grade pill refiner advancing toward 8th grade, creating such pills came easily. The blood beast pills proved remarkably effective. 1 pill equaled 5 previous doses, with all animals giving glowing reviews. Your zoo thrived, rhinos grew elephant-sized, elephants doubled in size, creating a spectacular sight. Were it not inconvenient, you'd have open ticket booths to recoup costs. Your zoo currently housed over 50 animals of 10+ species. You plan to raise them for a year before testing the Garden Gate body technique with their blood. Your daily routine involved feeding blood beast pills to animals and Rosheng pills to Auntie. Alternating between them, you feared someday mixing them up and sending Auntie into beast blood frenzy. Fortunately, you never made such elementary mistakes. A year passed quickly. Year 43. Under your meticulous care, the zoo animals grew plump and glossy. Frequent blood beast pill feedings made them adore you. They'd come thundering over whenever you appeared. 1,000-pound striped tiger nuzzled like a golden tabby. A 3-ton rhino demanded to be lifted. Helpless, you indulged them all. Today you returned to the zoo. The year had come, time for blood extraction. Taking 1 drop of essence blood from each species' strongest specimen left 16 drops total. Though just 1 drop, the essence loss left the beasts listless, their affectionate gazes gone. You released them back to the wild. Beginning blood fusion. Sitting in meditation, you activated the Garden Gate body technique, absorbing each blood drop. The fusion proceeded smoothly, each drop bringing slight physical enhancement. With all 16 absorbed, crimson light flashed in your eyes as your lean muscles gained definition. Though outwardly unchanged, you felt definite physical improvement. 16 blood types proved insufficient for major combat boosts. But having tested the method, you planned continued beast raising for future extractions. That year, Hu Zhongshuan brought startling news. Prince Yoning Liu had successfully fused with Earth Source, achieving ultimate Grandmaster. Soon after, Liu memorialized the throne with evidence of Duan Qian's corruption and oppression in Danzhou. Claiming he'd meant to report to the censorate, but Duan Qian resisted violently, resulting in accidental cranial disintegration. Liu requested imperial punishment. Li Anlong sided Liu's merit in capturing the rebel crown prince, dismissing it as accidental punishment. 3 ceremonial drinks. Liu an ultimate grandmaster now? Even more unkillable, you muttered. Redoubling cultivation efforts. Your enhanced talent, now rivaling top sect disciples, brought astonishing progress. Soon you broke through to peak essence refining. Combined with 9-fold true chi refinement, your combat power now crushed peak grandmasters. Only ultimate grandmasters could threaten you now. In your courtyard, you laughed wildly. Ha ha ha. Without ultimate grandmasters, who in this wide world dares oppose me? Who can oppose me? At peak essence refining, you deemed yourself ready for Earth Source fusion. Only 2 remaining Earth Source Sword Chi insights stood in the way. But recent progress had slowed. Those last 2 insights proved stubbornly elusive. Your pill refining also advanced. Your 8th grade pill skill surpassed beginner level, reaching initial achievement. You could now produce 3 or 4 successful 8th grade pills per batch. Though far from mastery, this success rate already made you Danxia Sect's top pill refiner. As the sect's new top refiner, you remained humble. You merely visited Hu Zhongshuan and accidentally dropped 4 steaming 8th grade pills during conversation. The pills rolled to Hu Zhongshuan's feet, stunning him. These are. Feigning surprise, you looked down. Uncle Master, I seem to have dropped my freshly refined 8th grade pills by your feet. Could you pick them up? My back suddenly won't bend. OS. Hu Zhongshuan gasped, summoning the pills to his palm with a gesture. One glance made him leap up. Overjoyed, you've achieved initial 8th grade success. You smiled faintly, you bet. Delighted, Hu Zhongshuan rushed over. Ha ha. You never cease to amaze me. Ha ha, yes. You laughed guardedly, then extended a hand. First return my 4 8th grade pills. Hu Zhongshuan's smile froze as he reluctantly returned the pill to you. Kid, it was all a misunderstanding. All a misunderstanding? Exactly. Then return the previous 2 pills as well. Hu Zhongshuan shook his head with pained reluctance. I thought you were a kind and generous child. Never expected you. You ate them, didn't you? You interrupted expressionlessly. Hu Zhongshuan pulled you to sit down. How could you think that of your uncle? I'm not that kind of person. Then you gave them to Auntie. Hu Zhongshuan hesitated. Well, it's possible that might have happened. Did you tell Auntie I was the one who refined them? Hu Zhongshuan looked awkward. Wanshu can't hear anything in her condition. Your face fell. Uncle, I worked so hard refining these pills, and I don't even get the credit. Hu Zhongshuan looked uncomfortable. Next time for sure. You stood up angrily. I'm leaving. This hurts my pride. Whoever wants to refine pills can do it themselves. I quit. You took 3 quick steps forward, then retreated 1 step, glancing back at Hu Zhongshuan. Hu Zhongshuan watched you silently. You took 3 more steps and retreated 2. I'm really leaving this time? Hu Zhongshuan watched you failing to exit the study and shook his head helplessly. All right, out with it. What do you want? You grinned. Uncle, with your political influence and worldly wisdom, my admiration for you. Enough flattery. What do you want? You smiled. Just give me something interesting, uncle. A few hundred sect-defining cultivation manuals or martial techniques would do. I'm not picky. A with tilde and epsilon. As you spoke, the situation felt strangely familiar. You remembered similarly extracting treasures from Xia Huida and Deng Rusong before. Essentially, you'd milked all 3 of Danxia Sect's old foxes dry. They all volunteered. You thought shamelessly without remorse. Hu Zhongshuan pondered. I don't have hundreds of manuals, but there is something interesting I can give you. He retrieved an earth source bowl from a hidden compartment behind the study and handed it to you. Now experienced, you immediately recognized it as a container for earth source. You asked suspiciously, Uncle, what's this? You're giving me earth source now. Not the actual earth source. This contains a strand of my purified source power, imbued with earth source's essence. Studying it will help your comprehension of both. Hu Zhongshuan continued smiling. While useless now, when you reach Grand Master's peak and find earth source, this will significantly accelerate your fusion process. You accepted it calmly. My thanks, uncle. Noting your expression, Hu Zhongshuan asked, not satisfied? If you really want cultivation manuals instead. You quickly said, this will do. Though unusable now, it's something to look forward to. Outwardly composed, you were internally ecstatic, exactly what you needed currently. Only 2 earth source sword qi remained uncomprehended, the most stubborn ones, showing no progress for over a year. Hu Zhongshuan's gift arrived perfectly timed, like receiving a pillow when drowsy. After more casual conversation, you returned to your residence. Immediately extracting the source power strand, you activated divine microvision and mind awakening technique, fully focusing on perception. Source power results from martial artists fusing with Earth Source. This strand illuminated the path to Earth Source Fusion's final form, immensely aiding your comprehension. Within half a month, you'd completely mastered the strand's secrets. The enlightenment was tremendous, filling your mind with new Earth Source knowledge. You felt confident about comprehending the remaining 2 sword qi. Just as you prepared to begin, Old Wang delivered a letter. Expecting Danxia sect troubles, you instead found it was from Lin Mo. The message could be summarized in 1 line. He'd advanced again. Lin Mo had reached mid-stage Grandmaster. Holding the letter silently, tears welled as caravan bells seemed to ring in your ears. Had you remained at Danxia sect, receiving his bragging letter would have been understandable. But why track you down in the capital? Shaking your head weakly, kid, you're hunting me down. Lin Mo had advanced a minor realm in under 2 years, abnormally fast. After consideration, you realized, my Earth Source Sword Qi insights must have accelerated his cultivation. But it's been years since I shared any. Such lasting effects? I never noticed them myself. You regretted sharing those insights, fearing both Lin Mo's suffering and his success. Now he wasn't just succeeding, he was skyrocketing. Fortunately, you quickly regained composure. Petty Lin Mo dares shake my Tao heart. Brushing off this minor disturbance, you began comprehending the final 2 sword qi. Year 44. Sitting cross-legged in your courtyard, eyes closed with a smile. Appearing deep in cultivation, but your consciousness had long departed. All awareness now resided within the simulation space. Your consciousness manifested as your form. A shimmering ethereal sword orbited you excitedly. This was the Earth Source Sword. Thanks to Hu Zhongshuan's source power boost, you'd finally comprehended all 24 sword qi, meaning you'd gained this Earth Source's complete recognition. The sword radiated joyous energy as if saying, only Brother He truly understands me. If it's Brother He, that thing would be okay. You sensed you could fuse with the Earth Source anytime now. But you decided to return to Danxia sect for fusion. Attempting fusion under Ultimate Grandmaster Hu Zhongshuan's nose would be detected. Even remote fusion in your private zoo might alert Capital's ultimate grandmasters. So you bid Hu Zhongshuan farewell, claiming to visit old friends, to check if they'd died yet. No longer needing to worry about Dang Wanchu's safety, as Hu Zhongshuan, marginalized by Li Anlong after implementing the taxation by land acreage policy, now had more time to guard her. You could leave peacefully. Departing the capital that same day, you rushed excitedly toward Danxia sect. Soon arriving back at the familiar sect, you meditated to adjust your state before suddenly opening your eyes. Finally, time for fusion. You sat cross-legged and activated divine microvision. With a slight thought, a translucent sword shimmering with misty white light suddenly materialized before you. The moment the Earth Source sword appeared, violent winds erupted. The sword carried tremendous might, as if receiving homage from the surrounding world. Without hesitation, your own formidable aura instantly erupted outward. Recognizing this familiar energy, the Earth Source sword emitted a clear chime and shot toward you like a swallow returning to its nest, plunging straight into your dantian. The Earth Source entering your body felt like gulping down strong liquor. Your organs, flesh, and bones instantly boiled with energy. Fuck, you cried out in pain. The Earth Source sword transformed into a vast energy that rapidly spread to every corner of your body. You couldn't maintain the cross-legged position anymore, collapsing to writhe in agony on the ground. Damn, this is kinda hot. Your skin surface bubbled like boiling water, with flesh lumps continuously swelling and dissipating as your entire body contorted unnaturally. The true chi within you began being devoured and assimilated by the Earth Source. The true chi reacted to the Earth Source like mice encountering a cat, instantly swallowed whole without resistance. After half an hour of torment, the pain finally began subsiding. Your body underwent optimization, every muscle and bone refined to a higher state, faintly glowing with treasure-like radiance. Gradually, your physique transformed toward its most perfect form. Your strength, speed, consciousness, everything ascended to new heights. Slowly, you developed an inexplicable affinity with the surrounding world. Soon, the agony ended, replaced by transcendent clarity. The source power completed its final transformation. Tremendous energy now coursed endlessly through your body. Fuck yeah, you roared, ceasing your rolling on the ground. You slowly rose to your feet. Your clear eyes snapped open, radiating soul-shaking pressure. Your dark blue robes billowed violently without any wind. Your body gradually levitated, notably without using wandering heaven steps this time. Spreading your arms, you wore an expression of ecstasy. The courtyard beneath your feet shrank into the distance while the sky drew nearer. Though you'd witnessed vast horizons many times before, this experience felt profoundly different. Finally, goddammit. Success! Your exhilarated shout echoed across the sky before fading away. Overwhelmed with excitement, the soul-awakening blade slid into your grip. Clang! You slashed fiercely toward the heavens. The sky brightened momentarily as the blade's energy, carrying the might of creation itself, pierced the clouds, leaving a massive straight tunnel through the atmosphere. A with tilde upsilon. This was the power of an ultimate grandmaster. Not only had your true chi transformed into source power, elevating your strength to new levels, your lifespan had also extended to 200 years. Though your martial realm remained essence refining, you'd become a genuine ultimate grandmaster. You'd officially entered the ultimate grandmaster ranks at merely peak essence refining. An achievement unprecedented and unlikely to ever be surpassed. I'm so fucking awesome, haha. You laughed maniacally. Post-euphoria, you noticed slight soreness in your sword arm and shook it dismissively. Probably overdid that slash. Whatever. You descended gently into the courtyard. Originally worried your peak essence refining physique couldn't withstand the Earth Source transformation, those concerns proved unnecessary. Your actual combat prowess now ranked among the elite even among ultimate grandmasters. And since your martial realm was merely peak essence refining, you still had room to grow. Technically, ultimate grandmaster wasn't a martial realm, rather, warriors who underwent Earth Source transformation. Other ultimate grandmasters could only receive this transformation at peak grandmaster stage, forever capping their progress. But you were different. still at peak essence, refining with room to advance. When your Earth Source-enhanced body eventually reached peak Grandmaster, you'd overpower all other ultimate Grandmasters. In summary, you, outwardly peak essence refining, but an ultimate Grandmaster whose power defied all norms. In high spirits, you decided to go show off. But choosing your audience proved tricky. After deliberation, you narrowed it down to two candidates. Lin Mo, or that granddaughter of Jiao Mingxiu whose name you never learned. After intense internal debate, you reluctantly settled on Lin Mo. You shot skyward immediately. Mid-flight, you kept muttering, "That damn Lin Mo always shakes my Dao heart." Today, you'll witness Uncle use mighty source power. Like Uncle's big source power? Huh? Answer me. Your crazy monologue continued until reaching the Heavenly Dao Alliance, only to learn Lin Mo is away. Fine, you nodded regretfully. As you turned to leave, a guard added, "Oh, the Alliance leader asked me to tell you, he's reached late-stage Grandmaster. Says he hasn't disappointed you." You instantly clamped the guard's mouth shut. No more talking. Rude. The confused guard nodded blankly, scratching his head at your rapidly departing figure. What did I say wrong? You returned to Danxia sect gloomily. Intending to show off, you'd instead been shown up. By Lin Mo's absence no less. He'd remotely outshone you, leaving you dizzy from the psychological blow. Upon reflection, since reaching peak dragon transformation, Lin Mo advanced one minor realm annually. This was the Grandmaster realm, not some lowly skin refining or bone tempering stage. Grandmaster progress normally seemed impossible as scaling heaven itself. Yet Lin Mo's dictionary apparently lacked the word bottleneck, just relentlessly leveling up. Calculating, if Lin Mo smoothly reached peak Grandmaster next year, he'd be a 36-year-old peak Grandmaster cultivator. Recall during the third simulation, as Meow Gift, reaching peak Grandmaster at 41 was already record-breaking. Now Lin Mo might achieve the absurd feat at 36. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You sighed repeatedly, guess I have to break my own records. Then reconsidered, wait, why should a 15-year-old ultimate Grandmaster envy Lin Mo? I'm the most badass one here. Technically correct, you were 15, by actual count, though over 140 by traditional reckoning. Age could be flexibly interpreted. Thus you self-comforted, your own coping mechanisms grew increasingly effective. After becoming an ultimate essence refiner, you didn't return to the capital. Instead, you cordoned off a large back mountain area in Danxia sect to restart your zoo. You recaptured various fierce beasts, periodically feeding them blood beast pills to enhance your Guarding Gate body technique. Months later, these animals became increasingly aesthetic. Each grew robust and heavily muscled, their nightly roars shaking the heavens and scaring off wildlife for miles. You didn't hide this from Ruan Bai, though he never visited. One day, Ruan Bai approached. "Senior brother, I keep hearing intense howls from the deep mountains. Is everything all right?" You opened your eyes from meditation. Just small animals with loud voices. "Sleep tight." "Oh, okay." Ruan Bai left uncertainly. Time flows like water, slipping away quietly. Year 45. You are now 60 years old. You called Bai Chen and Jiao Mingxiu over for a small gathering in your courtyard. Nowadays, Bai Chen and Jiao Mingxiu rarely stayed at the Danxia sect. Jiao Mingxiu had to manage his martial arts school and had taken up long-term residence in his house in Yutong County. Now in his 50s, Jiao Mingxiu had long shed his simple and honest demeanor, transforming into a benevolent and steady man. Bai Chen was over 20 years older than Jiao Mingxiu, already 81 this year. You could clearly see Bai Chen's energy wasn't what it used to be. Though his old reckless spirit still lingered, it had mellowed considerably. Bai Chen had already transferred ownership of his Mingchun court, no longer having the energy to manage it, though his personal wealth was more than sufficient. "Come, junior brothers, let's get drunk one more time." You raised your wine cup. Jiao Mingxiu steadily lifted his cup with a smile, a toast to senior brother. Bai Chen also raised his cup, though without the brashness of his youth, offering a gentle smile. "Drink." That night, you all got thoroughly drunk in the courtyard. Drunk, you slept right on the ground, waking only to drink heartily again. No one pressured anyone to drink, yet you all got drunk over and over. Only when the morning sun rose and dawn broke did you gradually part ways, promising to drink together again next time. 3 days later, you went to the breeding grounds deep in the back mountains. Once again, you drew blood from each of the smaller animals there. This time you fused 48 new beast blood types, bringing your total to 64. Unlike the physical enhancement that came with realm advancement, fusing beast blood purely strengthened the body. It had a certain overwhelming force-crushing all techniques quality to it. Beta. You roughly compared your current state. The strength gained from fusing 64 beast blood types was equivalent to the physical power of early-stage skin refining. Though the enhancement wasn't tremendous, accumulation would eventually lead to qualitative change. What you noticed most distinctly was the reduction in pain after overusing source power, indicating your body was growing tougher. Through fusing beast blood, you discovered even minor differences between animal species counted as new blood types. For instance, though flint tigers and crimson flame tigers lived nearby, fusing both blood types strengthened your body. This gave you an idea. If I ever run out of new animals, could I crossbreed them to create new species that the guarding gate body technique would recognize as new blood sources? After all, horses and donkeys could produce mules, while lions and tigers could even bear ligers. The more you thought about it, the more excited you became. It seemed entirely feasible. But for now, you didn't need such measures, as collecting new animals was still easy. You decided to wait until gathering new beast blood became difficult before playing animal breeder. Who knows what kind of monsters I'll create then? You murmured to yourself. That day, Hu Zhongshuan came from the capital to see you. After brief pleasantries, he asked about your progress with 8th grade pill refining. This time, clear worry showed in Hu Zhongshuan's eyes. You studied him and asked, "Uncle, is there a problem with the earth source?" Hu Zhongshuan hesitated before answering, "The earth source may dissipate in 3 to 5 years. That's not very decent of Lian Long, giving you an expiring earth source?" Hu Zhongshuan looked at you in surprise. "How did you know His Majesty provided the earth source?" "Just a guess. Not too difficult to figure out." Hu Zhongshuan nodded. "I didn't expect you to be so perceptive despite burying yourself in cultivation." "Uncle, you're not here to pressure me, are you? I've only reached initial achievement in 8th grade pill refining. There's no way I'll reach great achievement in 3 to 5 years." Hu Zhongshuan sighed softly. "I know that's unrealistic. I came to say that when you reach minor mastery, help me refine the reviving young pill." You frowned slightly. "Uncle, that would only give a 50 or 60% chance. It'd be a complete gamble. That earth source can't wait any longer." Hu Zhongshuan's brows remained furrowed. "Can't Lian Long get you another earth source?" "He doesn't have any more earth sources either." You were speechless. "Great. That blocks all possible paths." Hu Zhongshuan paced anxiously around your courtyard, hands clasped behind his back. After all, having finally obtained an earth source only to face this gamble, anyone would be troubled. "Uncle, stop pacing. I'll go refine pills like crazy starting now." You rose from the stone bench. Hu Zhongshuan smiled bitterly. "That's not what I meant." "I know. I'm saying worrying won't help. Spend time with Andy first. No use fretting over uncertainties." Hu Zhongshuan looked at you, then at Dang Wanshu in the cold jade coffin beside him. He shook his head with a wry smile. "No wonder elder brother always says you have a good attitude. I believe you can successfully refine the reviving young pill. I'll certainly do my best." After a deep nod, Hu Zhongshuan flew away with Dang Wanshu. You allocated more time to pill refining after that. But you hadn't refined for many days when Lin Mo came to find you again. Before you could show off your ultimate path essence refining to Lin Mo, he came to you first. Standing in your courtyard, you beckoned Lin Mo at the gate. "You come here." Lin Mo jogged over. "What is it, Uncle Yu?" You clenched your fist, expression fierce. "Have you witnessed the mighty power of an ultimate grandmaster?" "I have. I killed one just a few days ago." Your neck shrank back. "What the hell? You killed an ultimate grandmaster?" Yes." Lin Mo's expression was utterly sincere. "You mean the kind that can fly, use source power, and live 200 years? Yes." You double-checked. "Listen carefully, Lin Mo. The terrifyingly powerful kind. Forget it. How the fuck did you kill one? Aren't you at late-stage Grandmaster? Lin Mo answered honestly, Uncle Yu, I'm at Grandmaster peak now. You gnashed your teeth, I forgot. Another year passed, right? You're truly talented, advancing a minor realm every year. Do you ever let anyone else live? But Uncle Yu, I got injured fighting that ultimate Grandmaster too. You immediately perked up. Quick, show me so I can feel better. Lin Mo rolled up his sleeve, revealing a shallow scab about finger length. You feigned shock, oh no. Such a severe injury. Wait 2 more days and it would have healed on its own, you bastard. Lin Mo nodded sincerely, pretty much. Pretty much my ass. Get out of here. Uncle Yu, what's wrong? Nothing. I'm going to sleep. But you just woke up this morning? I love going back to sleep. Out of my courtyard. Lin Mo scratched his head, utterly confused then. I'll go, Uncle Yu. Go on, you little genius. Back to your heavenly Dao alliance. Lin Mo shot into the sky, calling back from afar, I'll visit again when I have time, Uncle Yu. Watching Lin Mo fly away, you muttered, a minor realm every year, truly heaven-defying. Just as you'd speculated, Lin Mo had indeed reached Grandmaster peak at 36 and gained the ability to single-handedly kill an ultimate Grandmaster. You stood in the courtyard a while longer, then turned back to the pill refining room to continue your work. 2 years passed in the blink of an eye. Year 47. Over these years, you'd nearly worn out Deng Rusing's true explanation of pill refining from constant study. You could recite its contents backwards by now, though you hadn't yet reached minor mastery in 8th grade pill refining. Your diligent practice had brought considerable progress. You weren't far from it. One day, Jiao Mingxiu came rushing over, shouting frantically outside your courtyard, senior brother. Come out quick. Come with me. You instantly appeared in the yard, frowning. What's wrong? The normally steady 50-something Jiao Mingxiu looked panicked. Hurry, senior brother. Baichen, he's not going to make it. Your heart skipped a beat as you instantly appeared beside Jiao Mingxiu. Grabbing his shoulder, you commanded, let's go. With Jiao Mingxiu in tow, you abruptly ascended into the sky, swiftly flying toward Yutong County at the mountain's base. The airborne Jiao Mingxiu was utterly astonished. Senior brother you. As a marrow-washing realm cultivator, Jiao Mingxiu fully understood what flying through the air signified. His mouth opened and closed wordlessly for a long moment. You glanced at him calmly. I'm at peak essence refining, just with a special martial technique. You chose not to mention your breakthrough into ultimate path essence refining. Such earth-shattering news would only cause unnecessary trouble. Jiao Mingxiu finally relaxed with an understanding nod, though his expression suggested he only partially comprehended. Soon, you and Jiao Mingxiu arrived at Bai Chen's residence. Upon landing, you suddenly felt rather superfluous. All 200 of Bai Chen's ex-girlfriends had gathered. They packed the central courtyard completely, representing every age from 18 to 80, truly a gathering of all talents, suitable for both young and old. Yet when you appeared, the crowd automatically parted to make way. Some recognized you and knew of Bai Chen's deep respect for you, influencing the others to step aside respectfully. Walking through the parted crowd, you entered the main house directly. Tap tap, your crisp footsteps echoed as you entered Bai Chen's chamber. On the bed, the listless Bai Chen seemed to sense your presence and slowly turned his head toward you. You paced to his bedside and sat down. The 83-year-old Bai Chen appeared gaunt with sunken eyes. The true qi surrounding him, like his life force, was dissipating continuously. This erosion had stripped away his ability to maintain a youthful appearance. Black hair turned white, wrinkles covering his face. His 200 ex-girlfriends watched helplessly as the once-debauched playboy withered into a frail old man. That thing called death wasn't even leaving him with final dignity. Say, senior brother. Bai Chen managed a weak smile. After studying him quietly, you asked, anything you'd like to say? Bai Chen pondered briefly before replying serenely, this life has been enough. What more is there to say? You smiled, and Bai Chen responded with a feeble chuckle of his own. Suddenly remembering something, he whispered, though I do still owe senior brother a meal at that high-class restaurant. Those expensive dishes you always disdained. Now you finally want to treat me? Wrinkles creased into a sly smile across Bai Chen's face. Still not treating you? You couldn't help laughing. What about taking me to a brothel then? Senior brother's expenses. I'll cover them all. Ha ha ha. Ha ha. The family head has passed. Woo-woo. The 200 ex-girlfriends burst into collective sobs. Bai Chen's descendants wailed openly or wept silently as grief enveloped the entire Bai residence. A Nigeria Naira Epsilon S. In the following days, white mourning decorations filled the Bai household. Having no children of his own, Bai Chen's nephews and nieces handled the funeral arrangements according to the will he'd prepared long ago, leaving them his entire estate. After Bai Chen's burial, you returned to Danxia sect. For several days you felt heavy-hearted before finally readjusting your mindset and resuming pill refining. The results weren't ideal initially, so you devoted half a month solely to pill-assisted cultivation. Signs of breakthrough began appearing in your peak essence, refining cultivation. You then refocused on advancing your 8th grade pill proficiency. 2 months later, with composed expression, you lifted the cauldron lid. For years of accumulation came to fruition as 5 8th grade pills appeared before you. Your 8th grade pill refinement had reached minor mastery. Yet you felt little excitement, having anticipated this outcome from your prolonged dedicated efforts. You didn't inform Hu Zhongshuan, planning to further increase your proficiency for better success rates. You weren't worried about the earth source dissipating. If that were truly happening, Hu Zhongshuan would certainly come find you in greater urgency than your own. One day, while concentrating on pill refining, Wan Qingwan came looking for you. Appearing in your courtyard dressed in a snow-white gown, her usually cool voice carried a hint of shyness. "Good friend, I've come to see you." Hearing Wan Qingwan's voice from the refining chamber brought light-hearted joy to your face. You deliberately took your time appearing in the courtyard. "If it isn't my absolute best friend in the whole world," you beamed brightly. Wan Qingwan glided forward on lotus steps, stopping before you with an adoring smile. You pulled her slender waist close, feeling your vigor return instantly. "Senior brother." Wan Bai chose that moment to appear. Your calm glance made Wan Bai's eyelids twitch. He immediately scratched his head and smoothly changed direction. "Huh? How did I get lost? Danxia sect is simply too big." Wan Bai vanished in a puff of smoke. Wan Qingwan blinked. "Who is that?" "Just some passerby." "Oh." You grinned. "Did you need something?" "Nothing really," Wan Qingwan replied with cool yet coy affectation. "Good, because I need something from you." "What?" Suddenly sweeping Wan Qingwan up, you positioned her legs around your waist, gently supporting her soft bottom. "You'll find out inside." Carrying the fragrant, pliant Wan Qingwan toward the bedroom, you felt her nestle her head against your broad shoulder, content to be taken wherever you wished. Soon, sounds emerged from the room. Clangs and bangs, creaks and squeaks, giggles and moans. 3 days and nights later. In the room, you lay embracing each other in sleep. Wan Qingwan's face radiated satisfaction, while you had thoroughly reclaimed masculine dignity. Mutual victory. After sharing postcoital smoke, you both calmed down. Wan Qingwan mentioned Great Qian and Jinyu Nation were at war again. "Fighting again? Has another earth source appeared?" you asked. Wan Qingwan nuzzled into your chest. "No, this time Great Qian initiated the attack suddenly. No one knows why." Your brow furrowed slightly. "Great Qian actively attacking Jinyu." You mused silently. Last time, due to Li Anlong's poor decisions, the martial world's ultimate grandmasters had realized they couldn't work with him, so none came to assist now. Yet despite this, Great Qian's offensive was shockingly fierce, displaying confidence suggesting intent to annihilate Jinyu entirely. "Where's Li Anlong getting this confidence?" you murmured. "Unknown. But recently our sect leader has been holding frequent secret meetings with other sect leaders. They're definitely plotting something." Your eyes showed puzzlement. Li Anlong suddenly attacks Jinyu, while the ultimate grandmasters secretly conspire. Feels like something major is coming. You sense this situation would explode into something massive, likely affecting you and Hu Zhongshuan. No more delays. "Starting tomorrow, I must focus on advancing pill refinement," you resolved. Next day, indulged in shameless activities with Wan Qingwan. 3rd day. No more wallowing in feminine charms. Must refine pills. 4th day. Wallowed in feminine charms. 5th day. You. How could you sink so low? Have you forgotten your pill refinement plans? 6th day. Indulged. 7th day. Wan Qingwan considerately left to avoid further distraction. You finally breathed a sigh of relief. Before departing, you asked again what wish she'd made to Yan Jishu at that time. When she still refused to answer, you administered a disciplinary spank to her backside. As she left, her gaze upon your retreating figure was profound and unreadable, pupils trembling slightly. 2 months later, your 8th grade pill refining skills have advanced further. You can now consistently produce 6 8th grade pills, firmly establishing your proficiency at the minor mastery level. During this period, you learned that Great Qian's army had crossed the Songwang Desert and invaded Jinyu Nation's territory. However, it appears Great Qian hasn't demonstrated combat capabilities significantly superior to before since launching the war. They only capitalized on the element of surprise, catching Jinyu Nation off guard. But after Jinyu Nation adjusted their battle formations, they resisted Great Qian's offensive, and Great Qian gradually lost their surprise advantage. You shake your head and stop paying excessive attention to the war between the two nations. You suspect Hu Zhongshuan will come looking for you soon. Sure enough, 3 days later, Hu Zhongshuan arrives. As an ultimate path essence refining practitioner, your heightened senses detected Hu Zhongshuan flying from afar. You stride into the courtyard and stand with hands clasped behind your back. A man and a coffin slowly descend. Hu Zhongshuan looks astonished. I saw you come out from far away. Were you waiting for me? Uncle Master, just a coincidence. Shows our master-disciple nephew connection is strong. You know that phrase usually isn't used to describe pure master-disciple relationships, right? You smile slightly, same difference. Hu Zhongshuan studies you, silently takes a step back, then asks solemnly, how's your pill refining coming along? Minor mastery. 6 pills. Hu Zhongshuan's eyes suddenly blaze with wild joy. You damn. Really amazing. Hu Zhongshuan looks exhilarated. He clenches his teeth and gazes at the sky, his eyes reflecting an unusual brightness. It's as if he's making eye contact with someone across space. Senior brother Xia, I've never said thank you in my life, but thank you for taking in such a good disciple. You chuckle, then extend your hand. Uncle Master, no time for jokes now. Give me the earth source to refine the reviving young pill. Hu Zhongshuan solemnly produces a fist-sized earth source bowl and places it in your hands with both hands. You can feel Hu Zhongshuan's hands trembling slightly. Even this ultimate grandmaster's eyes show traces of fear. You take the earth source bowl and pat Hu Zhongshuan's shoulder. Be good, Uncle Master. Trust me. Hu Zhongshuan forces a smile. Don't get cocky, kid. If you fail, I won't let you off. As he speaks, his expression darkens momentarily as if remembering something. But he quickly adjusts his mood and looks at the peacefully sleeping Dang Wanshu beside him. Hu Zhongshuan's tender gaze, like moonlight at night or a mountain breeze, gently sweeps over Dang Wanshu's entire body as if to illuminate her life. He turns to you, speaking gravely. I'm leaving Wanshu at Danxia sect. Feed her the reviving young pill immediately if you succeed. Your faint smile turns to shock. Wait, Uncle Master, hold on. Why all this life and death drama? You're not planning to die, are you? You little brat, wishing for my death? Hu Zhongshuan feigns anger. With all this tender affection, and last we'll talk, hard not to think that way. Hu Zhongshuan gives you a deep look and grows serious. I just want you to wake up as soon as possible. Then why not just wait here? Hu Zhongshuan looks conflicted. I must immediately join the campaign against Jinyu Nation. That was one of 2 conditions the Emperor set for giving me the Earth Source. Epsilon. You frown deeply. Why do I keep feeling you won't come back? Can you shut your crow's mouth? Can't you say something nice? Can't blame me when you're setting such a gloomy atmosphere. Hu Zhongshuan shakes his head with a wry smile. After one last reluctant look at Deng Wanshu, he finally leaves. After Hu Zhongshuan departs, you move Dang Wanshu to your pill refining chamber. The Roshing pill has been improved by you. Now just 1 pill can sustain Dang Wanshu for a month. Since refining the reviving young pill will take about a month, Dang Wanshu won't disrupt your progress. You don't immediately start refining, but spend 3 days quietly adjusting your state. You take this reviving yang pill refinement equally seriously. This represents not just Hu Zhangxuan's hopes, but also your master Xia Huida's dying wish. On the 4th day, you reach peak condition. You bring Dang Wanshu into the very stone chamber where Xia Huida and Dang Rusong once attempted refining the reviving young pill. You sit cross-legged, muttering, where you fell, stomped twice. You instruct Ruan not to disturb you unless your master comes back to life. You settle into meditation in the stone chamber, activating divine microvision and mind-awakening technique. As an ultimate path essence refining practitioner, you can directly perceive Earth Source. Now divine microvision only serves to enhance your insight. The pill furnace is arranged before you, with various rare supplementary materials spread out. You place the Earth Source bowl beside the furnace. With a wave of your slender hand, you extract a mist-like strand of Earth Source and directly feed it into the furnace. Light the fire, begin refining. Flames suddenly erupt, illuminating the dim stone chamber. The flickering light plays across your solemn face. The dancing flames make your shadow on the stone wall sway wildly. Occasional faint crackling sounds come from the furnace. Beside it, the gently sleeping Dang Wanshu awaits rebirth. 1 month later. Boom! The heavy stone door slowly opens. You step out expressionlessly. Dang Wanshu's cold jade coffin floats behind you, its occupant still peacefully asleep. Hu Zhangxuan stands opposite you, his gaze locked onto you, body trembling slightly. About 5 days ago, you sensed Hu Zhangxuan's arrival outside the chamber. Since coming, he stood motionless, staring fixedly at the stone door awaiting its opening. Now, Hu Zhangxuan looks at the sleeping Dang Wanshu, then up at you. His Adam's apple bobs as he rasps, Did it work? You say, Uncle Master, you wanted Auntie to wake up immediately, right? Hu Zhangxuan's emotions fluctuate wildly before finally answering, right. But I don't think that's appropriate. I believe it's more fitting for you to wake her personally. As you speak, your slender, well-defined right hand extends. Your fingers slowly unfurl to reveal a light green pill the size of a pinky finger resting in your palm, its medicinal fragrance refreshing and uplifting. The 8th grade reviving young pill refinement is complete. Mission accomplished. Ha ha ha, good. Excellent. Hu Zhangxuan erupts in earth-shaking laughter, tears glistening at his eyes. After his manic laughter, Hu Zhangxuan, utterly exhilarated, instantly flashes before you and reaches for the pill. Just as Hu Zhangxuan's hand is about to grasp the pill, mere inches away, a sudden anomaly occurs. Hu Zhangxuan's outstretched right hand freezes midair. His face twitches spasmodically twice. Then his gaze toward you shifts from wild joy to bone-chilling indifference. Your scalp instantly prickles as you violently retreat. But Hu Zhangxuan, without warning, transforms his palm into a claw and smashes toward your head, accompanied by a soul-shaking tiger's roar. The attack comes so suddenly you don't even have time to summon your soul-awakening blade before taking the full blow. Because you dodged diagonally upward, the claw doesn't strike your head, but it tears across your waist. The source power within the tiger claw phantom erupts, instantly severing your upper and lower body. Thud! Your lower half crashes to the ground. Your upper body hovers in midair. Your pupils quake violently, completely shocked by this sudden development. The excruciating pain contorts your face as you glare at Hu Zhangxuan. What the fuck? Hu Zhangxuan's sudden eruption of killing intent left you deeply unsettled. At this moment, your body split into 2 halves. Fortunately, the immense vitality granted by Ultimate Path Essence refining prevented your immediate death, and you felt you could still try to salvage the situation. If all else failed, you could write several wills to see how things unfolded. You use source power to gather your internal organs and intestines inside your abdominal cavity. Your strength was severely diminished, and facing the bizarre Hu Zhangxuan, you were hardly a match. Escape was temporarily impossible as well. However, your soul-awakening blade was already in hand. Although you couldn't win or flee, at the very least, you had to bite back. It would also serve as a probe for the next simulation, to figure out what kind of demon or monster Hu Zhangxuan truly was. You pointed your long blade at Hu Zhangxuan and shouted, "No matter who you are, get off my master uncle immediately." Hu Zhangxuan sneered fiercely and swung a massive claw with tremendous force. The claw struck the air with a piercing whistle. You furrowed your brows, intending to counterattack, when a whip shadow flickered past. Smack! The whip shattered Hu Zhangxuan's tiger claw, the illusory claw disintegrating into countless jade shards scattering in the air. Yan Jixue, clad in a black dress, rushed out and stood before you. Her silver 9-section whip still trembled. Evidently, she had suffered from blocking that strike. Facing the sudden intervention of Yan Jixue, you were stunned again. What the hell? Motherin, no, sect leader Yan. Run. Yan Jixue grabbed your upper body and surged into the sky. You hurriedly gathered source power to bring along your severed lower half. Hu Zhangxuan was still relentless, abruptly soaring up to chase rapidly. Behind you and Yan Jixue, Hu Zhangxuan's face twisted madly, exuding immense pressure. Even Yan Jixue frowned deeply, focusing solely on fleeing with your injured form. Because Yan Jixue flew away first, you managed to create some distance from Hu Zhangxuan. However, Hu Zhangxuan's speed was even faster than Yan Jixue's. The gap between you was steadily closing. Two streaks of light chased each other across the sky, covering several miles in an instant. Suddenly, Hu Zhangxuan's figure faltered and plummeted straight down. With a heavy thud, he crashed onto the ground, motionless for a long time. Yan Jixue glanced back and immediately accelerated to widen the distance. The wind howled fiercely in the sky. Even the gentle and intellectual Yan Jixue became serious. She cast a sideways glance at you, noticing you were holding your lower half with your upper body. "How long can you hold on?" she asked. You smiled coldly, pushing all pain aside. With a snap, you reattached your lower half to your upper body. After temporarily reassembling yourself, you took out the hot reviving yang pill you had just refined and tilted your head back to swallow it in one gulp. Arnu. The reviving yang pill was a top-tier healing pill. Healing such severe injuries was no problem at all. You quickly dissolved the pill, and it began to take effect. At the connection point of your body, flesh buds rapidly sprouted, gradually fusing the two halves together. Your internal organs and flesh returned to their rightful places and resumed functioning. The sensation of your body healing rapidly was strange. You clenched your teeth as sweat beaded on your forehead. But soon, in less than half a quarter of an hour, you had revived on the spot. You touched your severed waist, smooth and intact as before. Yan Jixue watched with amazement, then suddenly realized, this is the reviving yang pill? Sect leader Yan knows it too? Rusong mentioned it to me. You nodded. You told Yan Jixue she no longer needed to carry you while flying. What do you mean? Yan Jixue asked, puzzled. You didn't explain further and directly soared into the sky by your own power. Yan Jixue's eyebrows lifted in surprise, exclaiming, "You have advanced to the ultimate path? When did that happen?" That's not important, sect leader Yan. I want to ask why my master uncle became like this. Yan Jixue pondered for a moment before saying, the current Hu Zhangxuan is not your master uncle. Or more precisely, he's not entirely Hu Zhangxuan. You looked confused. Sect leader Yan, what do you mean by that? Please speak plainly. You have entered the ultimate path. You should know that every martial artist can only fuse with one earth source, right? I know. Forcing the fusion of a second earth source causes it to dissipate immediately. Yan Jixue nodded lightly and asked, do you remember the earth source distribution battle at Yajianka 34 years ago? I remember. I was even conscripted into the medical corps. Yan Jixue nodded again. Then you must also know that after the battle, all the senior pill refiners from the Danxia sect mobilized to help Li Anlong refine a certain pill. Suddenly you recalled. When you returned to Danxia sect to look for Xia Huida back then, you were told he wasn't there. Later, you learned from Xia Huida that they had gone to help Li Anlong refine pills, but never told you what they refined. You had even wondered why a miraculous elixir would require all the sect's senior pill refiners. You hurriedly asked Yan Jixue, sect leader Yan, do you know what pill was refined that time? Yan Jishue fell silent for a moment, then finally explained the details. It turned out that the pill Lianlong had Xia Huida, Deng Rusong, and others refine was called the Spirit Fusion Mother and Child pills. The Spirit Fusion Mother and Child pills were 9th-grade pills and required one earth source as the primary ingredient. The pills came in pairs, one mother pill and one child pill. The only function of the Spirit Fusion Mother and Child pills was to allow an ultimate grandmaster who took the child pill to fuse their physical body into the body of an ultimate grandmaster who took the mother pill. This fusion allowed the one who took the mother pill to advance further on the ultimate path, reaching a new level. This was not simply 1 + 1 = 2. Because the fusion of another ultimate grandmaster's body allowed their earth source attribute to reconstruct the fused body again. The difference could roughly be seen as the gap between a grandmaster and an ultimate grandmaster, a whole new height. The premise was that the fused ultimate grandmaster must willingly consent to fusion, otherwise it wouldn't take effect. You suddenly understood. The two conditions Hu Zhongshuan agreed to in order to obtain Li Anlong's earth source were 1. To implement the taxation by land acreage reform. The other condition wasn't to resist genunation, but to willingly fuse into Li Anlong's body. Thinking of this, your expression turned icy cold. You clenched your teeth and snarled, "They really cleaned me out." The Spirit Fusion Mother and Child pills only worked the first time taken and couldn't take effect multiple times, so multiple fusions of other ultimate grandmasters were impossible. That was why when Li Anlong's consciousness took control just now, he immediately attacked you fiercely. Because you were likely to become a 9th-grade pill refiner with the ability to refine the Spirit Fusion Mother and Child pills, something Li Anlong absolutely wouldn't allow. You asked, "Has my master uncle actually already been fused into Li Anlong's body?" "Yes. But he didn't seem that strong just now?" Yan Jishue glanced sideways at you. That's because Li Anlong's Spirit Fusion Mother and Child pills were imperfect. Even though all the Danxia sex pill refiners participated, it was still a 9th-grade pill, and the final product had a small flaw. What flaw? A perfect Spirit Fusion Mother and Child pill wouldn't preserve the fused person's consciousness, but Li Anlong's pair retained part of Hu Zhongshuan's consciousness. Yan Jishue continued, so Hu Zhongshuan didn't fight at full strength just now, and even fell strangely from the sky while chasing us. All of this was Hu Zhongshuan's consciousness influencing Li Anlong. Sect leader Yan, how do you know such detailed information? A trace of melancholy appeared in Yan Jishue's beautiful eyes. Rusing told me. You frowned in confusion and asked, if you knew this long ago, why didn't you try to stop Li Anlong? After all, someone at that level would pose a threat to the entire martial world. Yan Jishue's eyes showed contemplation. We were wrong from the very beginning. Leader Yan, please continue. Yan Jishue had previously informed other major sect leaders about the Spirit Fusion Mother and Child pills, but opinions were divided. At that time, Li Anlong's relationship with various martial sects hadn't deteriorated yet. They were in their honeymoon phase. For instance, during the Battle of Yajianku and the Throne Defense War, he could still summon ultimate grandmasters from the martial world for assistance. After learning about the Spirit Fusion Mother and Child pills, the martial world factions split into several groups. The radicals advocated uniting to eliminate Li Anlong directly. But the radicals were few and couldn't cause any waves. The conservatives suggested united action too, but only to pressure Li Anlong into destroying the pills. Yet the conservatives also lacked substantial support. The largest faction was the Boiling Frog Slowly group. They believed Li Anlong's friendly attitude toward martial sects meant even if he fused with an ultimate grandmaster, it wouldn't cause major issues. They could continue their separate existences, him as emperor, them as sect leaders, neither disturbing the other. Most importantly, everyone assumed Li Anlong intended to fuse with Prince Yongning Liu, whose martial talent was extraordinary. This made sect leaders even more inclined to stay out of the matter. Li Anlong's initial target was indeed Liu. That's why he repeatedly pressured Liu, hoping the prince would rebel after reaching ultimate grandmaster realm. Then he could use this colossal leverage to make Liu submit to fusion willingly. With Li Onlong's absolute control over Great Qian's imperial family, he wasn't worried about post-rebellion Li Yu becoming uncontrollable. But Li Onlong didn't know Li Yu had already learned about the pills from Duan Qian. Duan Qian knew because he'd been helping Li Onlong collect a crucial ingredient, a drop of heart's blood from numerous teenagers. This blood had to be split equally between the mother and child pills. You recall your origins, you were almost one of those teenagers used for alchemy. You also realized Xia Huida and Deng Rusong helped refine these pills, meaning you were nearly refined by Xia Huida and Deng Rusong. Your emotions become complicated, indescribably so. After learning about the pills, Liu vaguely discerned Li Onlong's intentions toward him. Thus, he lived cautiously, enduring humiliations without daring to make mistakes. He also avoided advancing to Ultimate Grandmaster, fearing it would bring him closer to death. Only during Li Onlong's birthday banquet did Liu realize through hints that Li Onlong had found another target and was letting him go. That's why Liu was overjoyed at the time. After confirming Li Onlong's new target was Hu Zhangxuan, Liu eagerly broke through to Ultimate Grandmaster. Later, Li Onlong learned Duan Qian had leaked information to Liu. So when Liu killed his close associate Duan Qian, it served both as his pledge of loyalty to Li Onlong and venting the emperor's anger. After all, Li Onlong and Liu were family, and Liu was an exceptionally talented Ultimate Grandmaster who could aid Great Qian's long-term stability. With ring above. Whether Liu secretly resented Li Onlong remained known only to himself. At least now, their relationship appeared harmonious again. You also understand why Duan Qian's long empty dungeon wasn't due to Liu reaching peak Grandmaster and no longer needing abductions. Rather, Li Onlong had completed the pill refinement, making abductions unnecessary. Yan Jixue continues explaining how martial sects took no action against Li Onlong back then. They believed peaceful coexistence would last forever, until Li Onlong instigated that great martial world upheaval. This made sect leaders recognize his boundless ambition and immense threat. Recently, Ultimate Grandmasters began meeting to discuss jointly pressuring Li Onlong in the capital to destroy the pills. This was what Wan Qingwan mentioned about Yan Jixue's secret plans. But these Ultimate Grandmasters arrived in the capital only to find Li Onlong absent. Yan Jixue grew suspicious of Hu Zhangxuan's frequent palace visits. After informing other sect leaders, she brought 2 extermination sect Ultimate Grandmasters to secretly follow Hu Zhangxuan to Danxia sect. There they witnessed Hu Zhangxuan ambushing you and intervened to save you. After hearing Yan Jixue's account, everything becomes clear. You ponder, Leader Yan, Great Qian's attack on Jinyu Nation must be because Li Onlong believes fusing with my uncle will let him crush them? Yan Jixue nods. That's my assumption too. You can't help but marvel at Li Onlong's troublemaking skills. With Hu Zhangxuan and Li Onlong not pursuing for now, Yan Jixue relaxes slightly. After 2 breaths of silence, you ask, Leader Yan, may I ask one more question? Yan Jixue smiles gracefully. Go ahead. What wish did my good friend Little One ask of you? Yan Jixue lowers her eyes before smiling, since you truly want to know. Qingwan wished for you and her to die on the same day. Damn, a Yandere? You frown, realizing this sounds exactly like Wan Qingwan. You cautiously press. Leader Yan, if Wan dies first, then you. Yan Jixue smiles gently. I'll kill you, ensuring you die together. Classic extermination sect logic, you're not entirely surprised. You're no longer afraid of Yan Jixue killing you, she currently can't. Or rather, she'd need to be prepared to sacrifice her life to possibly succeed. You continue, what if I die first? First? Yan Jixue confirms. Yes. Then you're dead. Wait, what? You stop her. She dies, I follow, I die, she lives normally? Yan Jixue's smile turns mature and alluring, exactly. That can't be right. Her wish was for us to die together. Yan Jixue chuckles. No, you misread it. She wished for you to die with her, not her with you. Seriously? Word games now. You protest. Old matriarch, don't think saving me means you can trick me. Do you have final interpretation rights? Twisting her words is gilding the lily. Yan Jixue continues gazing at you serenely. You ponder, wait, If you don't care about me dying before her, why save me? Yan Jixue smiles lightly. I'm ensuring you live until Qinghuan's death, so I can kill you to fulfill the same-day death wish. Well, typical extermination sect logic. Can't even argue with that. But you meet Yan Jixue's gaze with confident determination, Leader Yan. Killing me requires more than words. After all, nowadays everyone's an ultimate grandmaster. Though Hu Zhangshuan defeated you instantly earlier, that was due to ambush and superior strength, understandable. While Yan Jixue is a top-tier ultimate grandmaster, your peak essence refining strength already surpassed ordinary peak grandmasters. Correspondingly, your current ultimate path essence refining power eclipses regular ultimate grandmasters. The actual strength gap between you two isn't vast. Yan Jixue's eyes sparkle with interest at your words. Her soft, magnetic voice responds, "Is that so?" Your eyebrows rise as you grin. It is. Just then, two ultimate grandmasters approach, bowing to Yan Jixue, leader. They're the two extermination sect ultimate grandmasters who accompanied her to Danxia sect. Yan Jixue shifts focus from you to them. Her mature, gentle demeanor instantly transforms into lethal severity. She commands firmly, Li Anlong has fused with Hu Zhangshuan. Immediately summon all sect ultimate grandmasters. We kill Li Anlong. Yes, sect leader. One of the ultimate grandmasters took out a signal flare and lit it immediately. Whoosh! A dazzling firework of extraordinary brightness shot into the sky and exploded with a loud bang. The massive firework bloomed into the shape of a giant trumpet flower. You clicked your tongue in admiration. One signal arrow summons an army. Impressive. You hadn't expected the extermination sect to use the same communication method as the Axe Gang. The Ultimate Grandmaster's server-wide announcement proved highly effective. Within moments, Ultimate Grandmasters began arriving from all directions. Sect Leader. Greetings, Sect Leader. Each arriving Ultimate Grandmaster bowed respectfully to Yan Jixue. Excluding Yan Jixue herself, 15 Ultimate Grandmasters of the Extermination Sect had gathered. The sect originally had 29 Ultimate Grandmasters, more than half had answered the call. Those who didn't come were simply too far away, beyond the service coverage of the signal flare. These 15 Ultimate Grandmasters comprised both men and women, each with distinctive appearances. You scan the group, all 15 wore solemn expressions. They stood silently in midair, their robes fluttering in the breeze, creating an undeniably oppressive atmosphere. Yan Jixue gave a slight nod. Just as she was about to explain the situation, violent sonic booms erupted from behind. A human-shaped projectile came roaring toward them at terrifying speed. The thunderous approach alone conveyed the newcomer's ferocity. Frowning, you saw Hu Zhangshuan rapidly closing in, his demeanor now regal and aloof. Yan Jixue also noticed Hu Zhangshuan and quickly warned the others. That's Li Anlong after fusing with Hu Zhangshuan. His power has reached new heights. Our objective is to eliminate him, with ring above and... Understood. Roger. Hu Zhangshuan stopped abruptly before your group. Hands clasped behind his back, he surveyed the dozen-plus Ultimate Grandmasters with contempt. The Emperor's majesty radiated from him, his eyes filled with quiet disdain. Somehow, his mere presence overwhelmed the combined aura of all the Ultimate Grandmasters. The martial artists exchanged grave looks, realizing they'd picked a tough opponent. Hu Zhangshuan ignored them, his gaze wandering until it locked onto you. Your injuries healed remarkably fast, he observed in a low voice. Did you take reviving young pills? Your soul-awakening blade slid into your hand. Guess. Hu Zhangshuan nodded silently. Then his face contorted awkwardly, his imperial coldness melting into Hu Zhangshuan's characteristic gentleness. Would you really join outsiders to kill your martial uncle? Hu Zhangshuan asked, genuinely anguished. You knew Li Anlong currently controlled the body and weren't fooled by the poor acting. Uncertain if Hu Zhangshuan could hear you, you replied anyway, Martial uncle, I'll make it quick if I can. Li Anlong chuckled. The flesh and bones on his face writhed until they completely reformed into his original appearance. Much more comfortable in my own skin, Li Anlong mused. Wearing others' faces is disgusting. Your eyes darkened. Screech. You launched a blinding slash toward Lianlong without hesitation. Roar. Lianlong countered with a tiger's roar shockwave that shattered your substantial source power blade into fragments. Every muscle in your body tensed. This was the first time your attack had ever been negated completely. Yan Jixue kept her focus on Lianlong and warned, no holding back. Attack together. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. All 17 of you surrounded Lianlong. Simultaneously, you unleashed your most devastating attacks. The air filled with dazzling energy manifestations, swords, spears, staffs, all converging on Lianlong. Lianlong sneered as a colossal tiger phantom erupted from his body, swelling to several zhang tall. Roar. The lifelike spectral tiger stood defiantly in midair, intercepting every attack with its body. Its whip-like tail lashed out, sending your entire group flying backward. Clutching your soul-awakening blade as you stabilized midair, you called to Yan Jixue, sect leader Yan, this old bastard's special effects outclass ours. Yan Jixue's grave expression confirmed she felt the same pressure. Gritting your teeth, you shot upward and gripped your blade with both hands. The inky soul-awakening blade erupted with radiant energy, transforming into a 40-meter-long cleaver. You brought it down toward the striped giant tiger with earth-shaking force. The tiger's eerily human eyes narrowed before swiping with a massive paw. Boom! The impact reverberated for miles. Both tiger paw and giant blade shattered simultaneously. Lianlong shot you a surprised glance. Then the tiger's body glowed, the shattered paw already beginning to regenerate as motes of light danced across it. Seeing this, the other ultimate grandmasters renewed their assault. Clenching your jaw, you gathered source power for another strike. Crack. A sharp snapping sound reached your ears. Your gaze dropped to your sword-wielding right forearm. A half-chi-long gash had split open, so deep you could see bone. The exposed flesh twitched grotesquely. You froze. What the fuck? Crack. Crack crack. Crack crack crack. Like raindrops on banana leaves, a cascade of splitting sounds erupted. Your entire body became a chorus of popping noises as wounds spontaneously opened everywhere. Within seconds, your arm, chest, then entire body became a network of gaping, mouth-like lacerations. Excruciating pain followed instantly. Holy shit, I'm literally falling apart, you screamed in shock. Frantically, you produced countless bottles and jars. Swallowing healing pills like candy, you downed hundreds in seconds. Channeling source power, you accelerated the pill's effects. Thankfully, the massive dose worked, your horrific wounds began closing. But when you attempted another powerful slash, the injuries threatened to reopen. Realization struck, fuck. My essence-refining body can't handle this level of source power output. You recalled testing your new ultimate path essence refining power earlier. Your arm had ached slightly then, but you'd ignored it. Essence refining physical toughness just isn't enough. Glancing at Yan Jixue's group, you saw them gradually losing ground against Lianlong. A scream pierced the air. An ultimate grandmaster failed to dodge in time. Lianlong's energy tiger swatted him into a bloody mist. Extermination sect ultimate grandmasters, -1. Your expression hardened. Only one option remained. Fuck it. If I'm gonna break, might as well go all out. Raising your soul-awakening blade again, you poured every ounce of power into this strike. Winds howled as starlight coalesced along the blade. Taste my 40-meter cleaver, asshole. Boom. The gigantic blade descended like a falling galaxy, trailing a river of stars. Yan Jixue and the others barely scrambled clear in time. The attack hurtled toward Lianlong unimpeded. Lianlong's eyelids twitched, his energy tiger instinctively raised a paw to block. This time, the blade sliced clean through the limb. Without slowing, it continued toward the roaring tiger's head. The beast had no time to react, its head seemed destined for explosive demolition. Clang! The crisp ring of a sword suddenly echoed through the air. Lianlong's blade flashed brilliantly in his hand, shining with frenzied intensity. He swung over a dozen times in rapid succession, barely managing to weaken the force of the incoming slash. The giant tiger seized this moment to leap aside nimbly, evading the deadly blade edge. The attack ultimately struck the ground beneath everyone's feet with a thunderous explosion, carving out a crater dozens of meters wide that shimmered with starlight. Yan Jishue couldn't help but glance repeatedly at your composed yet formidable strike, though her hands never paused. The silver glowing phantom of her 9th-section whip suddenly expanded dozens of times in size. With a powerful flick, it wrapped tightly around the giant tiger's neck. After futile struggles, the beast's movements became sluggish. Seeing this, the group redirected their attacks toward Lian Long, whose rhythm had been disrupted. The clanging of weapons resumed as they engaged once more. Meanwhile, you quietly retreated. Deep crimson fissures, some reaching bone, had reappeared across your body, worse than before. You swallowed a massive dose of medicinal pills, barely stopping the wounds from worsening, but they healed painfully slow. Your physical form teetered on the brink of collapse. You knew that continuing to fight at full strength would be your undoing. Lian Long wouldn't even need to lift a finger. Just then, a panicked shout rang across the battlefield. Everyone spread out. You saw Yan Jishue single-handedly restraining the giant tiger, while Lian Long, sword in hand, effortlessly cut down the other ultimate grandmasters. In mere moments, 2 more fell lifeless. The situation grew increasingly dire as Lian Long became more relaxed and precise. Your expression darkened. At this rate, annihilation was inevitable. "Leader Yan," you shouted. "Where are the others from your sect?" Yan Jishue turned swiftly. "They're all in the capital. Only I came with Hu Zhangxuan de Donxia sect." "Then are we giving up on the explosion?" Noticing the blood-soaked fissures covering your body, her eyes widened in shock. "What happened to you?" You forced a grin. "Just some minor internal injuries." After a brief pause, she said decisively, "Prepare to retreat." "Fine by me." You couldn't care less. Your damaged body would hinder future breakthroughs even if healed. Starting fresh with a fully restored 15-year-old physique would yield better cultivation results. "You." A cold yet frantic voice called from below. Looking down, you saw Wan Qingwan had arrived. You descended rapidly, landing before her. "My dear friend, you came to find me." Wan Qingwan had no time to question how you joined a battle between ultimate grandmasters. Her delicate hands immediately reached for your face, tracing the bloody gashes. "This must hurt terribly." Her brows furrowed with concern, mistaking these for combat wounds. "Arobes." "Still manageable," you chuckled, the motion stretching your facial wounds grotesquely. She grabbed your arm urgently. "Let's escape now." "Escaping isn't an option for me." You glanced skyward at Lian Long, whose dark eyes never left you. The future 9th-grade pill refiner remained his primary target. The moment you fled, he'd abandon all others to pursue you relentlessly. You'd understood his intentions from the start. Now, irritation flared. As a transmigrator with cheats, you refused to suffer such humiliation. As your wounds showed slight recovery, you prepared to rejoin the fray. "Death's just a health reset," you quipped before turning to Wan Qingwan. "Qingwan, stay back. The battle's aftershocks might." "What?" "I can't hear you," she shouted from 2 miles away. "Damn, now you choose to obey?" You'd expected a dramatic farewell scene. Well, less distraction this way. As you prepared to charge back into the aerial battle, a thought struck you. "Psycho woman," you bellowed. "Did your wish only say you'd drag me to your grave?" "Louder." "Will you follow me to death?" "Guess." "Guess my ass. When I return, I'll spank yours raw. Promise." With a light laugh, you shot skyward, simultaneously slashing a blade beam toward Lian Long. Wan Qingwan watched your aerial maneuvers from afar, worry and determination mingling in her gaze. Rejoining the battle, you unleashed a relentless barrage of strikes, filling the sky with starlight. The fissures across your body multiplied and deepened, yet you felt nothing. Strange memories of Hu Zhangxuan surfaced, his care for you at Yajianku, your years as a young master in his residence, that profound final glance when he entrusted Deng Wanshu to you. "Wait." Your head jerked up. "Shit. Auntie's still waiting outside the stone chamber." Someone needed to speak for Deng Wanshu. She couldn't voice her plight. But calm quickly returned. Wan Bai knew her. He understood her significance to you, Hu Zhangxuan, Deng Rusong, and Xia Hueda. He'd surely care for her until your return. except there would be no return for either you or Hu Zhangxuan. Shaking off distractions, you focus solely on clashing with Li Onlong, who seemed to grow stronger by the moment. His speed and power escalated terrifyingly. Another head went flying, arterial spray arcing 2 meters high. Only 5 Extermination Sect Ultimate Grandmasters remained. You suspected Hu Zhangxuan's consciousness was being steadily devoured by Li Onlong. Fury ignited within you. Your blade strikes became more frenzied, the massive projections causing Li Onlong genuine difficulty. But the violent expenditure of source power came at a cost. Your flesh began sloughing off in chunks. Hiyu, stop this madness! Yan Jixue shouted, her hair disheveled. Ignoring her, you fought with lunatic intensity. The bones of your sword arm stood exposed, yet radiant starlight coalesced once more as you launched another earth-shaking slash at Li Onlong, this one draining your last reserves of source power. The giant tiger leaped suicidally into the blinding blade beam. Asterisk boom. Asterisk. Heaven and earth trembled. Both tiger and blade projection shattered spectacularly. Seizing the moment, Li Onlong deflected the remaining Grandmaster's attacks and lunged toward you with a vicious grin. His sword gleamed coldly, frost spreading for miles. The killing intent made your pupils contract violently. Look out! Yan Jixue twisted desperately, her 9-section whip cracking the air like thunder as she raced to intercept. No! Wan Qinghuan's anguished cry rose from below as she hurled 9 silver needles with all her might futile against the vast power disparity. Li Onlong closed the distance instantly. Exhausted and unable to muster fresh strength, you barely raised your blade in defense. His slender sword swept yours aside, thrusting straight for your face. Just as the blade tip touched your forehead. Asterisk clang. Asterisk. A deafening metallic crash erupted as a gleaming silver spear shot from behind your head, its point meeting the sword tip in a dazzling explosion of force. Your ear canal was ruptured in 2 places, blood flowing down from your ear. The collapse of your body suddenly intensified, your bones began to shatter inside. Despite the excruciating pain, you seized the moment when Li Onlong's assault paused and swiftly darted out, escaping from his attack range. You turned back to look. Li Onlong remained where you had just been, frowning in confusion as he stared toward the opposite side. Not far opposite Li Onlong stood Lin Mo, tall and slender, holding a spear with one hand, pointing it at Li Onlong from a distance. Lin Mo's expression was resolute and spirited, radiating chivalry from head to toe. Alongside Lin Mo were over 30 ultimate grandmasters from other sects. They were all sect leaders or top ultimate grandmasters of various martial clans. Even Lin Jingji was among them. More than 30 ultimate grandmasters stood in a standoff against Li Onlong. This group had just rushed over from the capital. Shortly after Yan Jixue left, they learned that Li Onlong had already merged with Hu Zhangxuan's essence. Therefore, this group followed Yan Jixue to the Danxia sect and was now drawn here by the battle's energy fluctuations. Yan Jixue stood at the forefront of the crowd, her black hair cascading like a waterfall, her expression icy cold. Li Onlong had just slain 10 ultimate grandmasters of the Extermination sect, greatly weakening their strength. Leader Yan, are you alright? The ultimate grandmasters greeted Yan Jixue one after another. Yan Jixue nodded faintly and explained the situation to everyone. Li Onlong was a villain who understood rules well. He knew that by the setup, he could not make a move at this moment, so he quietly waited while the others exchanged greetings. After Yan Jixue finished explaining, the group's expressions stiffened as they all turned to look at Li Onlong, immediately realizing how dangerous he was. Nearly 40 ultimate grandmasters surrounded Li Onlong directly. Li Onlong remained calm. He turned his head toward Lin Jingji and smiled. Jingji, have you forgotten the days when we sat and debated with swords? Lin Jingji's long sword stood by his side. His voice was low and steady. Times change, ambitions differ, our paths diverge. After speaking, Lin Jingji launched the first attack. A dazzling sword shadow like a crescent moon shot out swiftly. Li Onlong also lightly swung his sword. 2 sword lights collided and exploded into fragments. Suddenly, a tiger's roar rang out, and Li Onlong's colorful fierce tiger appeared again, this time even more solid and massive in form. But it was not over. Li Onlong continued his moves. Golden light surged around him intensely. A deafening dragon roar sounded. A gigantic five-clawed golden dragon materialized out of thin air and soared upward. The dragon and tiger, like ancient beast gods, coiled around Li Onlong's sides. The five-clawed golden dragon's gaze was majestic as it roared fiercely at the circle of ultimate grandmasters, instantly showing overwhelming divine power. Those ultimate grandmasters trembled in body and mind, feeling immense pressure. Lin Jingji snorted coldly, lifted his long sword, and dozens of meters of sword light flashed, slashing straight at Li Onlong. Yan Jixue, unable to wait any longer, also launched her attack. Others immediately followed suit, each unleashing their signature moves at Li Onlong. Brilliant and colorful flashes collided fiercely in the air, dazzling and blinding. Lin Mo also wanted to join, but he couldn't help turning to glance at you. His resolute expression faded when he saw your body battered and flesh torn. He was instantly shocked. "Uncle Yu," Lin Mo shouted, rushing to your side. You waved your hand. "It's not too bad." Lin Mo saw your right hand's flesh extensively stripped away, the whole hand dripping blood. "Your body is collapsing," Lin Mo shouted urgently. You could clearly feel your life fading, your internal organs beginning to fail, but you remained calm. "I won't die for now." You swallowed a pill and turned, flying toward Wan Qingwan on the ground. "Since you've already entered the ultimate grandmaster realm, I'll leave this to you." This pill was not a healing pill, but a stimulant to awaken the last potential of your body. Lin Mo frowned. "Uncle Yu, I haven't entered the ultimate grandmaster realm yet." You had already turned around, but heard this and spun sharply back. You sensed briefly from Lin Mo and were stunned. "Damn, you really haven't advanced to ultimate grandmaster?" "Not yet." Lin Mo shook his head. You were stunned for a moment, then scolded. "You haven't entered ultimate grandmaster, but want to play with the extreme factory? You haven't advanced and still want to show off in the factory." "Uncle Yu, I just wanted to save you." I know, you can leave now." Lin Mo stiffened and asked confusedly, "Uncle Yu, why?" You looked toward the group fighting fiercely in the distance. You withdrew your gaze and said, "I know you're fierce, but Li Onlong has already surpassed the ultimate grandmaster level. Before you enter ultimate grandmaster, you cannot provoke him." Lin Mo turned his gaze to the battlefield full of light pollution. There, Li Onlong alone, with a dragon and tiger, was fighting dozens of top ultimate grandmasters without falling behind. Li Onlong could even find weak points in the crowd for targeted strikes. Soon, several more lives were added to Li Onlong's tally. Lin Mo looked at the imposing Li Onlong without any fear. Instead, a fierce fighting spirit surged within him. Lin Mo's eyes blazed. "Uncle Yu, it's simple. I'll become an ultimate grandmaster." The familiar aura made your delicate body tremble wet. Your aura is finally no longer concealed, ready to reveal itself. Lin Mo smiled calmly as his aura condensed. Then he took a deep breath and shouted fiercely at Lin Jingji, "Sect leader Lin, I agree to join the Sword Establishment Pavilion. Give me the Earth Source." You were stunned on the spot. What the hell? What's this plot direction? How did you get involved with Lin Jingji? "Uncle Yu, it's like this. During my travels to the capital, I met Sect leader Lin. We got along well, and he invited me to join the Sword Establishment Pavilion as an honorary elder. As long as I agree, Sect leader Lin will give me his only Earth Source." You clicked your tongue in amazement. In the third simulation, the deep bond between master and disciple was strong, but in this simulation, they tangled in this way again. It was truly a lifetime of shared white hair, endless entanglement everywhere. You thought they were so fated that they should be given 2 bright red master-disciple certificates with their photos stamped in steel, to witness their pure and happy master-disciple relationship. Lin Jingji, hearing Lin Mo's shout in battle, was instantly delighted. He immediately flashed over, producing the Earth Source Bowl and handing it to Lin Mo. Lin Jingji showed no hesitation in giving the Earth Source, as if it was a trivial matter. But as one of the main combatants, Lin Jingji just left, Li Onlong's golden dragon swept its tail and directly smashed an ultimate grandmaster. Lin Jingji, who had intended to say a few words, quickly raised his treasured sword and plunged back into the battlefield to continue fighting. You advised, Lin Mo, leave here and find a place to hide. Your talent will let you comprehend success in a few months. Lin Mo's eyes flickered. Uncle Yu, I want to try to comprehend the earth source on sight. You froze for a moment before exclaiming excitedly, good lad, still as spirited as ever. After some thought, you added, whether you comprehend it or not, don't tell me. I'm too old for such devastating revelations. As you finished speaking, you suddenly felt all your strength drain away, overwhelmed by exhaustion. Lin Mo nodded hesitantly. Uncle Yu, I'll listen to you. Then go, you said. But, Uncle Yu, your condition. Deep worry etched across Lin Mo's face. I'm fine, just slightly dead. What? Lin Mo turned pale, immediately stowing the earth source away. Uncle Yu, I know a famous physician, let me take you there. You pulled out a handful of pills and swallowed them. Haha, just kidding. These pills will fix me right up. As the pills entered your stomach, your wounds indeed began slowly healing. Seeing this, Lin Mo finally relaxed. Uncle Yu, I'll stand guard over you. Suppressing your discomfort, you snapped, who needs your guarding? Then your gaze fell upon Wan Qingwan, who was watching anxiously from below. Noticing her too, Lin Mo nodded understandingly. Then Uncle Yu, you should go to Auntie. I'll go comprehend the earth source. Get going already, you little genius. Lin Mo gave a solemn nod before flying off into the distance with the earth source bowl. Your body suddenly trembled as your wounds began worsening uncontrollably. No longer paying attention to Lin Mo, you mustered your remaining strength to descend toward Wan Qingwan. Your flight path wavered unsteadily. You had reached your absolute limit. Wan Qingwan, her face full of concern, immediately activated her treading heaven steps to catch you midair. The two of you landed gently. You couldn't even stand anymore, collapsing weakly onto the ground. Wan Qingwan's eyes filled with tenderness as she cradled you gently in her arms. Looking down at your battered body, endless sorrow welled up in her usually cool eyes. Your blood stained her pristine white dress a glaring crimson, yet she only held you tighter. Her gaze dimmed as she asked mournfully, the pills, they're not working anymore? With great effort, you managed a tired smile. Good news is the reviving young pill worked. Bad news is I already took it. Reviving young pill? Hope flashed in Wan Qingwan's eyes. Are there more? Just one. And only I could refine it, which obviously isn't happening now. Her beautiful eyes trembled before dimming again. A single tear rolled silently down her cheek. It landed with a soft plop on your wounded face, the salt stinging slightly. Lying in Wan Qingwan's arms, gazing at her exquisitely beautiful yet cool features, you remembered how your third simulation had also ended dying in her embrace, with tilde and es. While others had fixed respawn points, you apparently had a fixed death spot. Not that you minded this particular death spot. You forced another weak smile, your voice barely audible. Little Wan, your little pearls are falling on my face. Wan Qingwan also smiled gently. Don't you like it when I cry? Smiles always bring more joy than other expressions. All right, she softly wiped away her tears. Her face blossomed with a radiant smile. More beautiful than ever, more determined than ever, more heartbreaking than ever. In your fading vision, Wan Qingwan's lovely smile grew increasingly blurry. In the distance, the battlefield surrounding Lianlong also became indistinct. Further still, what appeared to be a spear propping up heaven and earth suddenly materialized. You no longer had strength to wonder what was happening there. There seemed to be shouts, screams, a tiger's mournful roar, a golden dragon's shriek, golden blood painting the sky. Your eyes slowly closed, your last flicker of consciousness about to vanish. At the very end, you thought you heard Yan Jishue's anguished cry, Qingwan. Then instantly, the world fell utterly silent, completely swallowed by darkness. You died. This simulation has ended. More than 80 li north of Xianan City in Danzhou, inside a small inn. He's consciousness returned as if waking from a dream. That simulation was fucking amazing. Hiyu exclaimed excitedly. Then an overwhelming flood of memories poured into his mind. Vivid figures flashed rapidly through his thoughts. Wan Qingwan, Yan Zhixue, Hu Zhongshuan, Deng Rusong, Xia Huida, Bai Chen, Jiao Mingshu. And of course Deng Washu, whose entire role had basically been a bed scene. Auntie really earned her paycheck the easy way, literally sleeping on the job. The only technical challenge for Deng Washu in this simulation had been not snoring. Hiyu's thoughts surged wildly before finally calming after a long while. Time to inherit the rewards. His eyes burned with excitement. These gains were absolutely explosive. With a thought, Hiyu called out, "Simulator bro, tally up the loot." The simulator's text immediately appeared in his mind. Rewards obtained this time. Peak Essence Refining Cultivation. 8th grade Pill Refiner, Pseudo Intermediate. Top-tier martial arts talent. 47 years of pill refining, combat, and other experience. Divine Microvision Talent, Perfected. 9 condensations Profound Skill. 9 condensations at Essence Refining Stage. Garden Gate Body Technique, fused with 64 blood types. Star River Blade Art, Sect Protecting Grandmaster Technique, Peak Essence Refining. Heavenly Desire Formless Technique, Sect Protecting Dragon Transformation Technique, Peak Essence Refining. Wandering Heaven Steps, Peerless Martial Skill Perfected. Mind Awakening Technique, Top-tier Martial Skill Perfected. Wild Heaven Saber Technique, Sect Protecting Organ Fortifying Technique, Peak Organ Fortifying. Lightning Shadow Sword Technique, Top-tier Organ Fortifying Technique, Peak Organ Fortifying. 1 portion of Earth Source, Qian Metal Attribute Fusible. 1 wisp of Purified Source Power from Ultimate Grandmaster Hu Zhongshuan. Top-grade Pill Furnace, Practical Model. Top-grade Pill Furnace, Collector's Edition. 1 Danxia Sect Elder Token. 1 Danxia Sect Direct Disciple Token. 1 Reviving Young Pill. 98,579 Internal Spirit Pills. 26,800 Blood Chi Pills. 3,940 Rosheng Pills. 48 Truth-Seeking Pills. 28 Confusion Heart Pills. 5,842 Golden Soar Pills. 11,700 Blood Beast Pills. Earth Source Comprehension Notes from Ultimate Grandmaster Hu Zhongshuan. True Explanation of Pill Refining from 8th grade Pill Refiner Deng Rusong. True Explanation of Pill Refining from 7th grade Pill Refiner Xia Huida. 536 Pill Refining Notes from 7th grade Pill Refiner Xia Huida. 5 8th grade Pill Recipes. 17 7th grade Pill Recipes. 26 6th grade Pill Recipes. 43 5th grade Pill Recipes. 82 3rd grade Pill Recipes. 175 2nd grade Pill Recipes. 322 1st grade Pill Recipes. Internal Spirit Pill Recipe 4th grade. Truth-Seeking Pill Recipe 4th grade. Rosheng Pill Recipe 4th grade. Confusion Heart Pill Recipe 3rd grade. Golden Soar Pill Recipe 3rd grade. Blood Beast Pill Recipe 2nd grade. Pakshuan Pill Recipe 1st grade. Jiming Pill Recipe 1st grade. Yangsha Pill Recipe 1st grade. Hiyu's face nearly split from grinning at the extensive list of rewards. Marvelous. With so many gains, I can pad out 500 or 600 words. I mean, acquire many benefits. So happy. After his excitement, Hiyu initially planned to inherit all his gains directly. But he noticed something seemed off about the rewards. Why is my cultivation at peak essence refining? Where's my ultimate path essence refining? Oh, the Earth Source is separately settled as a fusion-ready state. Never mind then. Hiyu breathed a sigh of relief. Wait. Hiyu suddenly jolted in realization. The Earth Source is separately accounted for? His face immediately flushed with excitement. Does that mean I can bring back more than 1 Earth Source to inherit? As this thought emerged, Hiyu felt chills run down his spine. After all, Lianlong could barely be considered to have fused 2 Earth Sources, yet he was already dominating everything in his path. If he could gather dozens, even hundreds of Earth Sources to fuse, wouldn't he ascend to godhood on the spot? Hiyu literally quacked with excitement. Great. Let's do this. First inherit and fuse this earth source. When he looked at the earth source entry among his rewards, his brows furrowed. Qian metal nature? What does this mean? He asked mentally. Simulator bro, what does Qian metal nature marked on the earth source mean? The simulator gave no response. But Hiyu's mind was suddenly flooded with massive amounts of information about earth sources. The slight discomfort made Hiyu frown momentarily before his expression relaxed. After organizing the information, Hiyu looked enlightened. So earth sources have compatibility types. He learned that earth sources were divided into 11 compatibility types: Qian metal, Dui metal, Jin wood, Sun wood, Kan water, Li fire, Kuan earth, Gen earth, Wind thunder, Pure yin, and Pure yang. He also learned from the simulator's information that martial artists could actually fuse multiple earth sources from the start. But fused earth sources must share the same compatibility type, otherwise subsequent fusions would dissipate due to incompatibility. Moreover, since only a few hundred earth sources had appeared in Great Qian so far, fusion experience was severely lacking, with far too few reference cases. These ultimate grandmasters only knew of a few unlucky predecessors who failed at fusing a second earth source. Thus they naturally assumed an ultimate grandmaster could only fuse one earth source. What they didn't know was that fusion failures simply occurred when accidentally fusing incompatible earth sources. If thousands or even tens of thousands of earth sources appeared, more ultimate grandmasters would successively attempt multi-source fusions. Eventually, someone would discover the secret of fusing multiple earth sources of the same compatibility type. However, earth sources couldn't be fused infinitely. Each martial artist could fuse at most 9 earth sources. Fusing a 10th earth source would elevate the practitioner to another realm entirely, making further fusions impossible. The stronger the fused earth sources, the more powerful the martial artist would become. Coincidentally, he also obtained information about all specific earth sources, including their rankings. He immediately located his own earth source, Falling Immortal Sword, ranked 9th among Qian metal nature earth sources. He also learned about Li Anlong's earth source, Soaring Golden Dragon, of Dui metal compatibility, ranked 4th among its type. Quite coincidentally, Hu Zhangxuan's earth source Flint Tiger also belonged to Dui metal compatibility, ranked 21st. This was precisely why Li Anlong could successfully fuse with Hu Zhangxuan and gain tremendous combat power. Had Li Anlong attempted fusion with an ultimate grandmaster of another compatibility type, even with the spirit fusion mother and child pills, the fusion would have failed. Such is fate. He couldn't help but sigh. But after this moment of reflection, excitement surged again, because now only he knew all the secrets about Earth sources. In his next simulation, he could use this superior knowledge to carefully select the 9 highest-ranked Qian metal nature Earth sources for fusion. At that point, he would become the most powerful Qian metal compatibility martial artist, possibly even the strongest among all warriors. Since other martial artists didn't know Earth source rankings, they'd fuse blindly rather than specifically targeting the top 9. Wonderful. Cheating is just wonderful. Hiyu trembled with excitement. As his excitement grew, Hiyu gradually comprehended everything. Then he immediately inherited all cultivation, experience, and items. Boom! Peak essence refining cultivation achieved. Falling Immortal Sword Earth Source transformation complete. Approaching 8th grade pill refining skills restored. 47 years of combat experience loaded. Top-tier martial talent obtained. Divine microvision talent maximized. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Hiyu directly leaped from an ordinary 15-year-old at marrow washing peak to a 15-year-old ultimate path essence refiner and, almost, 8th grade pill refiner. Sitting cross-legged on his bed, Hiyu's thoughts raced wildly. Now he no longer needed to hide from Duan Qian, but to eliminate Li Anlong. His current cultivation was still slightly inadequate. After all, Li Anlong's soaring golden dragon earth source was highly ranked, his combat power formidable, and the Li Imperial clan had dozens of ultimate grandmasters. Without much deliberation, Hiyu decided to maintain his position and conduct another simulation first. At minimum, He needed to fuse 2 Earth sources before settling accounts with Leon Long. Let Leon Long live 1 second longer then. Additionally, in the next simulation, you could directly give the reviving Yang pill to Xia Hueda. That old man would be overjoyed, wouldn't die so early, and might even acknowledge me as his master. After calling you master for so many years, it's your turn to call me master now. Moreover, if Deng Wanxiu woke up, Hu Zhongshuan wouldn't agree to fuse with Li Onlong, allowing the 3 of them to live happily together. If Auntie wakes up, the sect leader wouldn't have so many regrets before dying. You chuckled. Perfect. Also, in the last simulation, little one seemed to have died with me in the end. Truly a tsundere woman. What a great best friend indeed. Having sorted through everything, Hiyu's eyes gleamed. Now then. 6th simulation, let's begin. You enter the simulation. You enter the simulation. First year. Night in. You leave a day's lodging fee on the room table, then fly out the inn window. You head straight for Donxia sect. This time you don't plan to join as a disciple. After all, if a junior disciple suddenly produced something as powerful as the reviving young pill, Xia Hueda would never dare give it to Deng Wanxiu. So you decide to fabricate an identity as a young master from a prominent family traveling abroad. Don't ask which family. The waters run too deep for you to navigate. Those who understand need no explanation. Those who don't wouldn't get it even if told. This time you're not afraid of exposure, because exposure requires someone having seen you before. Now you've transformed into a stubborn bird, flying away through the skies. Who could possibly see you? Only the innkeeper caught half a glimpse of you, but in the dark night he couldn't make out your face. With so many guests daily, the innkeeper would soon forget you. Even Duan Qian's wanted notice 8 days later wouldn't include you. This time you've truly vanished without a trace. Not even Lian Long could track you down, let alone any dragon. You plan to first acquaint yourself with Xia Hueda and Deng Rusong using this young master persona, then find an opportunity to exchange the reviving young pill with Xia Hueda. It must be an exchange, not a gift. Only then would Xia Hueda feel assured of its safety. Additionally, this simulation has another crucial objective: to obtain Earth Source at Yajianku in the 11th year. Last simulation witnessed 13 Earth Sources emerging during the Source battle at Yajianku, an exceptionally large-scale appearance. Who knows how many I'll get this time? I'll take them all and sort them out later. You've already fused with the Falling Immortal Sword Earth Source among them. You're curious what state the Falling Immortal Sword Earth Source at Yajianku will be in this time. Will it simply not appear? Or will another version emerge? Or be replaced by a different Earth Source? Uncertain, you stop dwelling on it. You fly non-stop without rest. Equipped with premium gear, eating Rosheng pills when hungry, drinking stored water when thirsty, you're practically immortal. Soon you reach Yutong County at Donxia Sect's foothills. You purchase a large estate in Yutong County, no longer hiding your identity, personally inscribing 2 large, ugly characters, He Manor on the entrance plaque, Alphoeus. This time you'll be yourself. To hell with Zhao Taizhu, Shangguan Goxing, and Ouyang Shufan. I am who I am, a firework of unique colors, you shout, raising your arms. Young master? We're a brokerage house. We don't sell fireworks, says the shrewd-looking agent across from you. I know. I was testing your knowledge. How could I not know? Does your esteemed household truly seek a steward? Of course we need a steward. Bring your most capable candidates' contracts for review. Employment contracts were agreements between employers and employees, detailing the employee's background, work history, essentially labor contracts but more thorough. The agent places a thick stack before you. Young master, these are our Xiangtai brokerage's finest stewards. You glance down, about to examine them closely. When someone enters the brokerage, a casual look makes you exclaim, "Holy shit, Old Wang." It's indeed Old Wang, steward of Hu Zhongshuan's residence. Though this version appears younger, barely 30. Old Wang approaches, nodding slightly to you before asking the agent, "Has any employer reviewed my contract?" The agent looks uncomfortable. After a long pause, "It's not that I won't recommend you, but every employer who sees your contract flees like you're the plague." Old Wang looks crestfallen. "No hope then. I've told you before, if you'd just embellish certain details." "Ah, Please return later. Remembering your presence, the agent cuts himself off, realizing he's revealed trade secrets. Quickly changing tactics, the agent smiles. Young master, please review the contracts while I brew tea. You raise your eyes at Old Wang. Show me your contract. What? Both agent and Old Wang are stunned. Old Wang studies you carefully. You're hiring a steward. You nod slightly. The agent excitedly prods Old Wang. This young master seeks a steward. He hurriedly retrieves Old Wang's contract and hands it to you. Reading it, you immediately click your tongue in amazement. Old Wang's real name is Wang Zizhou, 33, completely alone, no parents, wife, or children. He once had a family, but initially didn't recognize his peculiar curse. When his parents died young, he blamed misfortune. Then his wife's sudden illness made him suspicious. Later, his younger brother died prematurely. Most absurdly, his toddler son preceded him in death. Everyone said Old Wang was a lone star of calamity who doomed his family. But stubbornly, he worked from servant to household steward. Then came the worst, 2 months into stewardship. The entire household was massacred by a martial sect over some offense. Though calamitous to others, Old Wang's own fate was ironclad. He'd been out that day, sole survivor. His contract honestly detailed everything, making him unemployable. Nearly destitute, his funds were dwindling. Finishing the contract, you marvel. This was like a sparrow pecking an ox's rear. Truly impressive. But conveniently, you're unafraid of death, a perfect match. You turn decisively. Old Wang, I want you. Both agent and Old Wang gape. They never expected you to speak foreign tongues, their brains itching as if growing new matter. Old Wang asks, young master, you read my contract thoroughly. Crystal clear. And you still want me? You're exactly what I'm pissing for. Old Wang's face lights up as he bows deeply. Thank you for your trust. I, Wang Zizhou, won't fail you. Smiling, you pay and leave with Old Wang. Old Wang offers to have his wages, but you refuse. The sum means nothing. A few pills you casually consume could sustain him for life. Collecting a familiar face from 5 cycles ago lifts your mood as you stroll leisurely. Old Wang follows respectfully behind. Suddenly you stop dead, exclaiming, "Holy fuck." Old Wang anxiously asks, "Master, what's wrong?" You don't answer, but internally tsunami waves crash. You'd hired this calamitous star believing your own fate equally ironclad, that he couldn't outcurse you. But it just struck you, in a way, Old Wang had even cursed Hu Zhongshuan, an ultimate grandmaster, to death. You looked helplessly at Old Wang. Old Wang wore an innocent expression. But in the end, you didn't send Old Wang away. Hey, I chose myself idle. You took Old Wang back to the manor and entrusted him with the related matters. You personally had no special habits regarding food, clothing, housing, or transportation. You were simply addicted to cultivation every day without any distraction. Therefore, Old Wang quickly managed the manor from top to bottom in an orderly fashion. The manor also added quite a few servants and guards. Your manor had truly become a prestigious noble estate. Back then, these noble estates were the very objects you targeted for automatic pickup. You never expected that you would unknowingly stand on the opposite side of your former self. You, the Dragon Slayer youth, had become a nurturing dragon. The following year, after finishing the manor's affairs, you purchased a large piece of mountain forest and continued your zoo business. You raised various birds and beasts with second-grade blood beast pills, treating these little animals as if they were your own children. You ran back and forth between the manor and the zoo every day, which was quite troublesome. During the period of raising animals, you didn't neglect your cultivation. At the end of the same year, after swallowing the last internal spirit pill of your life, the source power inside your body began to surge and sweep uncontrollably. The spacious and sturdy cultivation chamber shook and swayed. Your face brightened with joy. Power incoming. In less than a quarter of an hour, your entire source power suddenly exploded. The pure and condensed source power stepped up to another level, quickly reaching the early stage of dragon transformation. The source power inside began to nourish your body, and your physical body gained profound enhancement. The previous essence refining stage was equivalent to integrating the parts strengthened separately during skin refining, bone tempering, marrow washing, and organ fortifying stages. It began to unify the human body into a harmonious whole. Dragon transformation was a comprehensive tempering of this whole. After ascending to dragon transformation, your physical body received an epic level enhancement. This meant you could finally unleash your source power at full strength without worrying about physical collapse. At this point, you officially entered the ultimate dragon transformation realm. Your true combat strength could now rival top ultimate grandmasters like Yen Jixue. Internal spirit pills no longer provided significant benefits to your cultivation. You had to use 6th grade essence pills for auxiliary training. 6th grade pills were nothing for a pill refiner like you, who was only one step away from 8th grade. You were very happy to become a complete ultimate grandmaster warrior. It's time to visit the Danxia sect. Wonder if those 2 old elders are still there. One day, you arrived at the Danxia sect. Several people were on guard at the gate, and you found one of the servants named Guolan, about 13 or 14 years old. Servants ranked even below ordinary disciples, only able to do trivial chores. You explained your purpose to Guolan guarding the gate. After confirming with the others on duty, Guolan took you into the Danxia sect. Walking inside, a familiar feeling washed over you. You could find every corner of the Danxia sect even with your eyes closed. Guolan brought you to an ancient and elegant reception room. After sitting down, Guolan asked, "Young master, do you want us to help improve the pill recipe?" "Yes, I have a 2nd grade pill that strengthens beast physiques. Help me improve it to at least 4th grade, preferably 5th. Although you could improve the blood beast pills yourself, you needed to establish a trust relationship with the Danxia sect this way. Then you could exchange the reviving young pill with Xia Hueda." Guolan was shocked. 5th grade. That would require at least a 6th grade pill refiner to customize. Don't you have 6th grade or even 7th grade elders? Guolan looked at you with slight surprise. "Young master, have you researched our Danxia sect beforehand?" "Not much, just a little." Guolan nodded. "Your request is indeed only something the elders can handle." You asked, "Can I designate a certain Tony? I mean, an elder to help improve it?" "Theoretically, yes." You chuckled lightly. "There are 7 elders in total, right?" "Yes." "Then it's the 7th elder. Sounds like the least impressive one, pretty cheap." Your smile was utterly shameless. Guolan's expression turned troubled. "It seems young master really doesn't know much about our Danxia sect. The 7th elder is the highest pill refining elder after the sect leader, and also the hardest to invite." Nui. You were surprised. "Why so hard to invite?" "Our 7th elder barely concerns himself with sect affairs, dedicating himself entirely to his lover." "Well, that just means he can come down to rest." Guolan's face tightened. Not knowing what expression to make, he could only awkwardly smile. Young master really knows how to joke. You chuckled. "So your 7th elder is a devoted romantic? Extremely passionate and loyal." You raised an eyebrow. "Then why have I seen him visit brothels?" Guolan instantly froze, stammering. That's because, forget it. Young master wouldn't believe it anyway. Better designate another elder." You smiled faintly. "No, I won't change from the 7th elder. I'm not in a hurry. When he has time, he can come to my manor and talk to me." You left the address of He Manor and placed the blood beast pills recipe directly on the table, then left the Danxia sect. Guolan looked conflicted, but could only watch you leave. You returned to the manor. Just as you stepped inside, Old Wang came up to greet you. "Master, just now Lu Yuanwei from the west of the city sent a letter of visit." You knew Lu Yuanwei, a man with modest wealth. He had a very beautiful daughter, a well-known lady from a distinguished family nearby. Lu Yuanwei was always thinking of marrying his daughter into a good family to elevate his social status. You opened and read it. Lu Yuanwei stated he wished to visit tomorrow. You felt very pleased. Since Lu Yuanwei wanted to probe your background, it meant your persona was very successful. After all, you recently bought a large mansion, a mountain forest, and invested in many restaurants and pawn shops in Yutong County. Clearly, you looked like the son of a prestigious noble family. To consolidate your image, you played along, Old Wang, prepare a table. I'll have a few drinks with Lu Yuanwei. Yes, master. Just as you were about to step into the cultivation chamber, you suddenly remembered something and turned back. Old Wang, just call me young master. Sounds younger. Old Wang was stunned, then immediately corrected himself. All right, young master. The next day, the big-bellied Lu Yuanwei had already drunk 3 rounds with you and was somewhat drunk. He had asked all the questions he needed, and you had fabricated the answers you wanted. Lu Yuanwei's eyes flicked, finally testing. Meeting young master he today, truly talented and distinguished. May I ask if you're married? You smiled calmly, not married. Lu Yuanwei's eyes brightened. Oh? In that case, I have a young daughter, both beautiful and wise. Lu Yuanwei. You interrupted. Yes, young master he? You smiled, Lu Yuanwei. To be honest, I have never been with a woman in my life. I have no interest in women. My happiest times are every month cultivating with my senior brothers. Lu Yuanwei was stunned for a long moment, then left sulkily. Soon, rumors spread in Yutong County's wealthy and noble circles that you preferred men. You completely ignored these rumors, knowing that once your only good friend appeared, the rumors would collapse without effort. You continued your cultivation day after day. 2 months later, you completed your first source power condensation, and your ultimate dragon transformation strength improved another level. Your martial talent rivaled the top disciples of the 5 major sects, already bringing a noticeable boost to your cultivation speed. One day, while you were cultivating, Guolan, who had served you at the Danxia sect, came to your manor. Guolan told the gatekeeper your purpose outside the gate, and the gatekeeper immediately went to call Old Wang. Old Wang cupped his hands to Guolan. Young brother, I am Wang Zizhou, steward of He Manor. What brings you to see our young master He? Guolan cupped hands politely. Greetings, Steward Wang. I am from the Danxia sect. Wait a moment. Old Wang quickly interrupted. My surname is Wang. Guolan suddenly felt embarrassed and was about to correct himself. You heard the voice and came out. You directly asked, did your 7th elder from the Danxia sect agree to help me improve the pill recipe? Guolan quickly raised his head and replied, yes, young master He. Also, the 7th elder really wants to ask where your blood beast pills recipe came from. The blood beast pills were your own creation, and you had intentionally left behind the pill recipe back then. You calmly asked, the blood beast pills are my family heirloom. Is there a problem? Guolan hurriedly waved his hands. Young master He, no problem at all. It's just that the 7th elder mentioned some techniques in the blood beast pills resemble the Danxia sect style. He wanted to find time to chat with you. This was exactly the effect you wanted, so you replied, no problem at all. I'm available anytime. Guolan then explained his true purpose for visiting. He was actually here to help Xia Hueda survey and document the animal species in your zoo, so the improved pill recipe could be more precisely targeted. You took Guolan to the zoo. The moment Guolan entered, he was utterly shocked. This vast zoo deep in the mountains resembled a prehistoric jungle. Various abnormally large animals played and fought within, their movements shaking the ground beneath them. Young master He, did these animals all grow like this from eating blood beast pills? Guolan stammered. Correct. Then, is there still a need to improve the blood beast pills? Improve them we must. I need more advanced fierce beasts for practicing my Garden Gate body technique. Guolan suddenly understood. So young master He practices the Garden Gate body technique. Now I see. The Garden Gate body technique wasn't any secret in Great Qian. Few practiced it simply because collecting beast blood was too time and energy consuming. Over all these years, only Wan Qinglan had mentioned someone achieving a physique comparable to a grandmaster. That person had become something of a spiritual icon for those with poor martial arts aptitude who preferred unorthodox methods. This group was somewhat looked down upon by mainstream martial artists, their hearts secretly harboring hidden insecurities. Your current persona was precisely that of someone with abysmal martial talent but plenty of money, trying to turn things around through the Garden Gate body technique. So Guolan didn't press further, afraid you might be similarly sensitive and take offense. Guolan carefully inquired about the zoo's situation and dutifully recorded the additional animal species you might introduce. Finally, he had gathered nearly all the required information. The midday sun blazed overhead at its hottest. You invited him to cool off in the zoo's comfortable lounge. Guolan politely followed you to the resting area. You had servants brew chilled tea, prepare a fruit platter, and summon two attendants. You lounged lazily in a rocking chair, sipping tea to cool off. Guolan, however, sat primly on a chair beside you, appearing quite restrained. Glancing at Guolan, you noticed him engrossed in reading an introductory pill manual, his brows furrowed in confusion. You said, "My family has an heirloom pill manual with a passage that might relate to your confusion." Guolan looked up suspiciously. "Young Master He, may I ask what passage?" You chuckled and casually quoted a line. Guolan froze, then suddenly had an epiphany, like solving a math problem that had stumped him for days. His face lit up with excitement. "Ha ha! Yes! That's it! Why didn't I think of that?" Guolan sprang to his feet. "Thank you for your guidance, young Master He. Though my family's means are modest, the 10 blood chi pills I receive monthly from the sect are quite valuable. I'll give them all to you as thanks." With Ray Beta. You waved dismissively. "Think nothing of it." Guolan didn't linger. Riding his wave of inspiration, he rushed back excitedly to the Danxia sect to refine pills. You didn't try to stop him. That would have meant providing another meal. 2 months later, your little animals had finally matured a batch. You approached the oversized little animals with excitement. "My big babies, it's about that time." The giant creatures cowered in a corner, trembling. With swift precision, you drew a drop of essence blood from each. In the end, you collected 70 drops of various essence bloods. The fusion process went smoothly, successfully combining all 70 types. You now had a total of 134 fused beast essence bloods. The additional physical enhancement brought you to mid-stage skin refining, though this barely affected your current strength. Still, free physical enhancements were like found money, no reason to refuse. Moreover, these beast bloods had all been enhanced by blood beast pills. Using ordinary fierce beast blood would have required many more types to achieve similar results. It showed just how difficult the Garden Gate body technique would be for someone with genuinely poor martial talent. But your progress would accelerate soon, with Xia Hueda optimizing the blood beast pills. Feeding 5th grade pills to your animals might just make them evolve into spirits. 3 months later, Guolan returned to your estate. Old Wang escorted him to the main hall. This time, he brought Xia Hueda's optimized version of the blood beast pill recipe, now a 5th grade pill called blood essence pills. These not only enhanced animal physiques, but also concentrated their vital essences into their blood, making each drop of essence blood even more potent. You took the recipe and paid Guolan. Being well-versed in pill recipe modification rates, you knew Xia Hueda had charged surprisingly little. You understood this was because Xia Hueda felt a connection to the blood beast pill recipe. After settling payment, you cheekily told Guolan, "Seems your 7th elder comes cheap. I'll request him again next time." Guolan could only force a laugh, not daring to comment further. "Oh, young Master He, the 7th elder said he'll visit in 2 months to discuss your ancestors' pill refining background." "No problem at all. I'll be completely honest. I mean, completely truthful." Guolan gave an awkward chuckle. Young Master He does love his jokes. You smiled faintly while sipping tea. You eagerly anticipated meeting Xia Hueda. In your last simulation, he had died too soon and too regrettably. You remembered how Xia Hueda had dressed his finest on his death day, all to present himself properly for one last meeting with Deng Wanshu, even though she couldn't see him. The memory stirred emotions. You took another sip to compose yourself. Confident in your understanding of Xia Hueda, you believed you could quickly befriend him. Then you could casually drop hints about the reviving young pill before finding an opportunity to exchange it with him. Having settled on this plan, you gave an imperceptible nod. Maintaining composure, you continued chatting with Guolan. "How did your pill refining go after last time?" Guolan's mood visibly darkened. "Despite your guidance, I've made no progress whatsoever." He then produced 40 blood chi pills. These are for you, young master he. Please don't think poorly of them. You knew the Danxia sect gave servant disciples 10 blood chi pills monthly, plus variable numbers of defective pills. These 40 represented nearly Guilan's entire savings. You didn't accept them. While not one to pass up advantages, you weren't that hard up. Instead, you frowned, finding this quite peculiar. The issue you'd pointed out to Guilan was key to refining first-grade pills. Overcoming it should have allowed him to produce at least 1 or 2 successful pills. Yet Guilan showed zero progress. You questioned him further. After hearing his situation, you barely restrained yourself. The words, "Are you for real?" nearly escaped your lips. Guilan had been a Danxia sect servant disciple for over a year without successfully refining a single first-grade pill. The sect's rules stated that producing 1 or 2 first-grade pills within 2 years would promote a servant disciple to full disciple status. Failure meant expulsion. Exceptional full disciples could compete to become personal disciples. In your past life, you'd started as a quasi-personal disciple, becoming a full personal disciple in under 3 years. This wasn't boasting. Guolan's incompetence was simply staggering by comparison. After over a year in the sect, he hadn't successfully refined a single proper pill. Like someone training with a swim team for a year only to remain unable to swim, anyone would ask, "Are you okay?" With his 2-year deadline approaching, Guilan teetered on expulsion. You mentally sighed, and here I thought giving you advice meant I'd encounter a pill refining prodigy like Lin Mo. Instead, I get the biggest noob imaginable. Then you reconsidered, must be old Wang's bad influence. Guilan clearly felt embarrassed, but remained, seeming to want to say something. Knowing his thoughts, you preempted him, "Don't talk about repaying favors. Just promise if you cause trouble later, you won't drag me into it." Guilan glanced at you timidly before finally taking his leave from He Manor. Watching his retreating figure, you knew he actually wanted to ask about that so-called ancestral pill manual. But Guilan understood you weren't related, and he had nothing valuable to offer, so he couldn't bring himself to mention it. You also had no obligation to guide someone you'd only met a few times. Putting Guilan out of your mind, you focused on improving your pill refining skills. Your 8th grade pill refining technique was nearing mastery. 1 month later. Year 3, inside the pill refining chamber. The exquisite pill furnace stood before you, its flames recently extinguished, still radiating heat. Your source power crept up the furnace lid like a gambler about to reveal dice, your eyes gleaming slightly. Finally, with a surge of will, you channeled source power to abruptly open the furnace. As the lid lifted, golden light burst forth like the unsealing of a gourmet dish from Cooking Master Boy. Squinting, you saw 9 perfect 8th grade pills neatly arranged inside. Excellent. 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 You cheered excitedly. Yes, I've finally become a master chef. I mean, an 8th grade pill refiner. You'd officially surpassed Xia Hueda and reached Deng Rusing's level. Combined with your perfected divine microvision talent, even if Xia Hueda and Deng Rusong teamed up, they could barely match you now. Thrilled, you declared, "Seems old Wang isn't jinxing me after all." To celebrate, you invited old Wang to drink with you that evening. When summoned to dine with his master, old Wang initially refused. But unable to resist your insistence, he reluctantly joined. Beneath the moonlight, you drank together in the lakeside pavilion of the rear garden, just you, old Wang, and the full moon making a trio of drinkers. After a jug of wine, old Wang nearly renamed your He Manor as Wang Manor in his drunken ramblings. When he climbed onto the table for the 3rd time, you used special techniques to sober him slightly. The somewhat clearer-headed old Wang shared his life story again, how he'd planned to try his luck in the capital if he couldn't find work in Yutong County. He'd heard the capital was wonderful, a big city where opportunities abounded for the bold. Rumor had it capital residents were so wealthy they wouldn't bother picking up stray silver, as the time spent bending over would earn more. "I must visit the capital someday," old Wang insisted. You asked, "Old Wang, haven't I treated you well? Why this capital obsession?" "Young master's been very good to me, paying the highest steward wages in Yutong County," old Wang's flushed face admitted. "But it's different. Even if just to see it, I want to visit the capital." Raising your cup, you promised. Your chance will come, Old Wang. Old Wang lifted his own cup, his smile wavering. Thank you, young master, for visiting my Wang manor. Thud. Old Wang collapsed drunk onto the table, his cup hitting the surface hard, the clear liquor inside sloshing violently, shattering the moon's reflection. The next morning, your robust constitution prevented drunkenness even without using source power to sober up, except when drinking with close friends, when you'd get wasted without a single drop. As morning mist dissipated, you began daily cultivation. Just as you entered the training room, the gatekeeper announced a visitor. Delighted, you assumed Xia Huida had arrived a month early, only to learn it was Guolan requesting an audience. You received Guolan in the main hall, where he dragged a large sack of unknown contents. Beaming, he announced he'd finally been promoted to full disciple. Aramacronies. You chuckled. Congratulations, little brother. So you've mastered first-grade pills? Guolan grinned even wider, whispering mysteriously, Young master I didn't just master first-grade refining. You started, then how were you promoted? Did you master the examiner instead? Not quite that extreme. Guolan blushed. My first-grade refining jumped straight from uninitiated to mastery. Frowning, you said, the pressure drove you delusional? Anticipating disbelief, Guolan produced his full disciple token. See for yourself, young master A glance confirmed its authenticity. Eyebrow raised, you demanded, explain. It turned out Guolan had taken his final qualification test days earlier. Failure would have meant expulsion from Danxia sect. Having never successfully refined a proper pill before, his heart nearly leapt out during the test. With no alternative, he'd proceeded with his usual flawed process before despairing completely. Too afraid to check the furnace himself, he'd waited for the examiner to open it, only for both to be stunned. Instead of the usual failed pills, 8 perfect first-grade pills sat inside. Guolan's skill had vaulted straight from uninitiated to mastery, qualifying him instantly as a first-grade refiner. When skeptical examiners made him demonstrate twice more, he produced 8 perfect pills each time, convincing them completely. Your interest was piqued. Had Guolan been ordinarily incompetent, you wouldn't have cared, but such bizarre incompetence demanded investigation. Having Guolan demonstrate on the spot yielded another 8 perfect pills. Marveling, you remarked, your late bloomer phase was blooming late indeed. You realized Guolan's peculiar trait. Once reaching basic proficiency in any pill grade, he immediately mastered it completely. However, reaching that initial proficiency took him far longer than others. Average talents typically mastered first-grade basics in 6 months, but required 3 to 5 years for mastery, with higher grades taking exponentially longer. Hence, most never progressed beyond 4th or 5th grade in their lifetimes. Judging solely by the time taken to master first-grade refining, Guolan's pace placed him slightly above average. But his instant mastery upon reaching basic proficiency was utterly bizarre. You have suspected Guolan possessed some critical proficiency cheat, remaining at 0 until the first point was gained, then skyrocketing exponentially. You found the master key to all techniques, you observed. Guolan scratched his head. I don't understand it either. Further questioning revealed nothing unusual about his refining process. Preparing to send him off so you could resume cultivation, Guolan suddenly stood up hesitantly. Young master about that ancestral pill manual, could I purchase it from you?